All right, well, welcome back, everybody. I'm glad you all could make it. We are on episode 34. You guys have made it back to the inn. You're full of blood. You've regained one willpower point. You feel pretty good. You went through a really hard trial, and you passed. You got through it. Wasn't really a pass-fail situation, but you got through it. And you are back at the inn, basically. And that's pretty much it. You are carrying the torpid body of Hat with you. So, and a couple of you guys are carrying some nice scrolls and stuff with you. So,
Yep.
all right. One thing I'm going to point out as you're walking back to the inn, uh, because you're in such high spirits and you've done so well, you guys all get 2 additional dice tonight for the rest of this game night for any
Oh.
frenzy checks that are made.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I would also like to remind something. You remember the bonus thing you gave us um for the what was it? How do you call it? A party of like Lucius,
Yeah, that's
Horatius.
done. That's done.
Yeah. That bonus is
It's
gone.
gone. Yep.
Okay.
So, as you walk back to the streets, and the party starts to clear because you're not as centered around the temple mostly. Um, you notice that sense of danger that you guys felt on the street is gone. It no longer feels scared. It no longer feels like something's looking over your shoulder. So, uh, again, you are feeling pretty good tonight.
Well,
Are
being
we really? We have paid the price for our victory. And it's Lucius Valerius. Are we going to forget him?
No.
Of course we won't. Ailemus, is Ailemus with us?
He's there. Yeah.
I am a bit of a loss when it comes to funeral rites, but would it make any sense for you to perform the ceremony? Or, well, what am I talking about? There are so many priests in our little coterie that there has to be a proper way. Or is it not the time yet?
Alemus looks right at La Vienna.
I was just going to say, would La Vienna perhaps know the appropriate funeral rite?
For her chosen religion, yes, she would.
This, yeah. Well, to be honest, out of character, I'm not exactly sure what that would be, but La Vienna agrees that she would be more than happy to perform a funeral rite for Lucius Valerius.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello.
You can perform that funeral rite. You absolutely have the skill. I'm just doing a quick search to see what that entails.
Sure.
And it might be super elaborate. It might not.
Are we talking about the real ritual? Like
Yeah, it's
ritual?
let's see, mythology, worship. It doesn't seem like there's too much to it. There's not a lot of information about it just on a quick search. So, if we really wanted to get into it, we could, but you could perform a simple ceremony with no problems. Offer a small sacrifice to ease his soul into the afterlife. I don't see any issues with it.
Wait.
If you want to make time
sounds
for
like
that, then we absolutely can do that.
yes.
Time for this must be found. However, I'm not certain if we are completely done here. I mean, there's bound to be some kindred in here. Are we certain they all perished at the hands of these two? Is that even possible? Also, there's the question of there's no doubt they haven't they worked they had to they had to have some kind of support from others, and all we have is this are these two letters.
Well, those things they did in the caves, it's it makes me think they existed well, lived in this town, in this city for a longer time than you guys were or I. So my assumption is either this inhabitant kindreds of this city is either stupid, lacking skill to detect wrong, or they are dead, or they are helping the body. So my suggestion is there won't be any use coming from them.
What's the value related to this?
Well, what they did was too wicked for me, for my preferences, to assume they were Bali. I mean, I saw evil kindreds. I saw evil vampires, but not as like this. This is more of a madness, meaningless, and made only to be made.
I
I
agree.
doubt.
It didn't look like any ballet ritual I'm familiar with.
Either case, it's clear that if there's some, I don't know, demon worshipping dozens of people slaying vampires behind your back door, you should find it in a quite short time, which seems like they did not. So, as I said, I don't assume there will be any use coming from those kindreds.
This letter we found mentions some rituals, but we haven't seen, or at least, have we seen actually anything that could resemble a ritual of this magnitude? I mean, we found numerous holding pens and supplies, but they didn't seem to be any ritual site per se.
The cavern seems much more like a temple that they had taken over, and
So
the
perhaps
holding, what you refer to as the holding cells, were very much more like priestly monk cells that they were using as holding those ghouls.
If I may, I believe when you were summarizing that encounter in which Valerius was taken, you mentioned a pit. Might it?
Yeah, there was a pit, but it wasn't a deep pit.
It has a pit for sacrifices.
It might be worth checking just in case.
Perhaps so. I personally doubt we'll see anything there, but Now that we have the time and possibility to look into it, yes, sure.
Well, I have.
And there's this.
I I will see to the burial of the priests. Their soul should rest easy.
Okay, as you guys walk, you make it back to the inn. You are sitting down for a second, contacting the remaining ghouls. And as soon as you guys walk in, and the ghouls that see you, Hatshep's at school, Heraclius, rushes over to her body right away. He starts to get a little crazy look in his eye. You can see it. He starts starting to panic a little bit. Throws himself over her. What have you done to my mistress? Tell me, mistress, she gonna be
Calm
okay. He
down,
starts shaking
friend.
her shoulders.
Calm down, man. Calm down. It's going to be all right. Your mistress is temporarily unavailable, but she will be returning to her full state once we're back in Rome.
Give me a charisma plus empathy roll to calm him down.
Sure. Standard difficulty?
6, yes.
Oh, it's about time for botches.
That's not a
Oh,
botch.
No, it's not.
No.
That's not bad.
It's a fail.
Just a fail.
No, yeah. Yeah.
You can roll again at difficulty 7, or somebody can attempt the roll for you.
Can Albina approach him?
Since he's already talking to him, is going to reinforce his will. And listen, these things happen. Our bodies are durable, and our soul and what remains of our souls are impeccable in keeping us sustained within the world of the living. She's going to endure. God damn it.
I believe Albina
Can
was
I-
about to say something.
Yeah.
Albina approaches him and looks over to him and tries to dominate him. You are going to, while she's out, you are going to obey me as if I was your mistress. He tries to dominate him.
Okay, go ahead and make your
That's
roll.
not going to work. That's definitely not going to work. I say 99% it's not going to work.
Changing voice applies. Also, what's the difficulty?
I'm not gonna tell you the difficulty. Enchanting voice for this is not going to work, but your eyes might.
Okay. Fuck.
One stubborn ghoul.
He just shoves you away.
Okay.
It was going to be really tough, and you still didn't quite make it.
So, is he still panicked?
It looks like he's about to pull out his belt knife and do something stupid, like try to cut his palm and feeder.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to
I'll give it a go.
I want to how do you say it? I want to make a sweep kick to his feet to knock him down on ground, and hold his arm behind his back and say you will calm down, boy, and with my left hand pressing on his head to the ground with a little bit force.
Okay.
I will try to.
Before you do that, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
You have somebody with vampiric blood who's already a little panicked out of concern for his mistress. Are you sure you want to inflict physical violence inside of somebody's inn?
Okay. Then I just want to say this. If you want to save your mistress, you have to pray. If you want to save your mistress, you have to pray to her god for the upcoming 2 days.
Before you do this, let's let Labiana try to calm him down first.
Okay.
I mean, only because no one else was able to, but
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I've only got 2 dots in charisma and 1 dot in empathy, but I'll give it a shot anyways.
And you have
Social-
your presence, and you have your clan
Social
weakness.
Cappadocian's gonna
Look,
rock this
yeah,
whole.
that too, but since all else failed, I'll just basically tell him, yeah, look, I understand how you feel. Seeing her like that would be certainly upsetting, but we can assure you that she is okay for the time being, and she will be back with us eventually.
Okay, go ahead and make the roll, please.
Yep, making it now. I think I've got it right.
Hey.
Oh.
Yippee.
Unfortunately, with your clan weakness and your eerie presence flaw, still not quite good enough. That might
Okay,
be
what's
enough
it?
for him to be snapped out of it.
Okay.
Listen. Your mistress needs your help right now. She's in torpor. She's not dead. She's going to take care of her. Do you understand? You need to calm down and ensure her torpid body lives through this.
Yeah, take your mistress's body, go upstairs, and just protect it. Okay. Do that.
Do not allow Apollo's rays to touch this one, for she is not blessed by him.
Okay, he finally gets one success and starts to calm down on his self-control roll. So you know he's starting to panic. He's like getting ready to slice his hand open and shove blood down her throat. And your words seem to get through him, and he's like, "Oh wait, she's in the healing sleep.
Yeah.
This might happen.
Yeah, it's healing sleep. Yeah.
I will stay by her side to protect her."
Yes, do that. Take your mistress's body and go upstairs. Okay, carry her. Good. Do it, good boy.
You serve your mistress well. I am certain she will reward you for your service.
She certainly will.
So as you guys, everybody goes upstairs and you're getting settled in. All the ghouls start to rush you and talk at the same time. They're all talking over each other.
Babies.
Veritan, he seems to be a little wild. He's got some suppressed religious fervor going on. He saw an actual miracle, and he seems to be trying to get his mistress, Albana's attention, to talk about Apollo and learn if Juno would bless her with the same attention.
She has so much. Yes.
He absolutely accepts your word for this. Albana takes it in stride. Yes, she does pay that much attention to me. As they kind of talk over each other, you hear that Valerius's crew, the ghouls that he brought with him, in the middle of the night, or in the middle of the day, I should say, while you guys were in the cave, they just jerked awake, gathered all their stuff, and left. And if the way they describe it, it's right about the same time you think that Valerius burned to death.
So he took what? He did what?
They grabbed his stuff and their stuff, and they left.
Okay.
They felt the blood bond break. They felt that their master was dead.
Okay, I understand.
I was going to say
that. Unfortunate.
They conveniently didn't steal our stuff.
Conveniently, no, they did not.
Good.
Oh.
And there are two rumors that you should hear. There is a rumor that there was a very large trade caravan loaded with silver and treasures that left this very daytime, headed east. And there is a trireme warship in the harbor right now, flying a heraldic flag. That's the device that shows allegiance to a country or whatever.
Which country? To which country?
They could not tell. They have no idea.
Understand.
It is in the harbor right now, floating in the middle of the harbor.
Can they describe how flag look like? Like if there's
it
symbol
was two crows holding a shield.
Vikings?
Would any of us recognize that?
On a successful intelligence plus politics roll at difficulty 6 for politics, and if you have anything else like commerce, seneschal, academics, anything that might tangentially tell you, you can make the same roll at difficulty 7. Intelligence plus whatever that ability is.
Okay.
So intelligence plus politics, but if you have academics, it's only difficulty 7?
If you roll with academics. If you roll with
And-
politics, it'll be 6.
Oh, okay.
This is not our day.
Alright, well, here's the thing. I have both
Ooh.
politics and academics, but I
That
have more
was
academics than
as
politics.
dilemmas, just to be
You
clear.
can make the roll with whichever dice pool you so desire.
I think I know which one.
Yeah. But depending on your choice, difficulty might
high.
increase by 1.
Yeah, that's okay, but I'm willing to take the risk because I get 2 more dice in the dice pool, but only at +1 difficulty.
I mean, we got our answer, but you can make it too. Yes. Ooh, nice. Nice.
All right. It is the excellent. It is the heraldic flag, the traditional flag of Alaria as a kingdom.
Alaria, as opposed to Alaria, they're the same.
Illyria.
with-
Oh my gosh.
Illyria.
What are
Oh,
they doing
okay.
here?
Okay, that explains everything.
What are
So-
they
They want
doing here?
now.
But
But it's only one trireme? It's only one trireme?
Correct. It is only one.
And they're still anti-Rome at this point, yes?
Yeah, but if I were to invade
no.
anything, I would bring
Illyria
more
is-
trireme.
Is occupied by Rome, and many cities are very fervently pro-Rome, including the city you're currently in.
So
So
we're safe.
Were
that
there
might
any
be.
soldiers on the ship?
They said that no soldiers came ashore. Nobody left the ship.
So if you guys
Okay,
share.
next. Oh,
At least not that they know of. There was no invasion.
Okay. If you guys share this information about Illyria getting occupied by Rome, because my character definitely wouldn't know it, I will suggest that we should see if that ship is actually occupied by Roman soldiers than Illyrian.
Well, they do mention that there was another flag on board, and it was a banner that's commonly recognized as a diplomatic banner. Diplomats will travel under this kind of banner, and it's understood that if you have that, you are under a bond of peace. You will not attack anybody, and nobody will attack you, because if you break that tradition, it would put everybody's diplomats in danger. So that's understood to be a basically like a truce. Anybody under this flag throughout the Mediterranean area is understood to be, you don't hurt me and we don't attack you guys.
This might be way back to, well, your home.
Safe then.
So, taking stock, we've got the letter, the pit, the warship, And the caravan headed
Oh.
east.
Yes. Technically, we have 2 letters.
Only one of
The
which,
swaps.
I emphasize, you can read.
Yeah,
Yes.
we have to try and figure out what the other one says.
Okay.
We could go
I've
around
been-
looking for translators.
I've been giving some thought to this, and unless it's in some weird language that has no concept of structure that we know it, I think this second letter is just a diversion. It's a gibberish, and the open letter has the true coded message. But this is only my opinion.
Just keep those papers. You don't know what fate might bring upon those 2 pieces of paper, which could benefit us.
It's true. It's as Nicodemus already made a note to copy them both to have a backup in case the originals are lost.
No, my
Someone
my
who's ready.
suggestion is, as someone who traveled on foot for days, nights, and years, I prefer if you go back to Rome by the traders on land than going by ship. But then again, it's only my opinion, and I am fine to follow your choices.
I think we should investigate all the strange occurrences. Because ultimately, we've been told to make contact with the kindred, and we still have no idea if any of them are still around. And all those things, the caravan and the trireme worship in the harbor, are just too coincidental to align themselves with the time of liberation of the town from La Sombra and the Zimitsi.
So-
But the ship was also carrying the diplomatic flags, so
You know
it's
what?
traveling
Let's
under a
go to the
diplomatic
ship.
flag.
Let's go to the ship. Let's
Let's
You
see
know.
who's on board.
let's contact with them. And then Icarus just gets out of the room and starts going outside of the inn, outside in.
Friends, I shall go deal with the matter of burial. I will meet you back here.
What about the caravan? Shouldn't at least one of us follow the caravan? I admit that only having a night to spare is probably not enough to be an effective travel. But perhaps we can set a goal.
I will see if I can catch up with it. I might be able to. And if not, I will be able to shelter under the earth.
Well, if we have 5 fingers, why are we just sticking with 3 of them? Just send a ghoul to the caravan.
Alternatively, we can use an animal to follow it.
Out of character, no, we can't. Our one person with animalism. Oh wait, no, Alexio.
Is Alexia with us?
Yeah.
Okay, out of character, if I may, just briefly go out of character to talk it. I'm thinking, Elemus and handles the burial and then goes out east to check on. He can, if it happens to be any danger, he should be able to escape just about. Albina, Albina, and well, basically the rest of you go check the ship first, then possibly the pit and possibly the latter, if time permits.
What about the burial for Valerius?
We will have to handle that at another point.
I agree. The events before us seem to unfold quickly, and Valerius must have peace at a later date.
But he will have it.
I am certain.
But yeah, it probably is a good idea to investigate these prior to that.
In that case, actually, we shall go check the can. Me and Alexio.
Yes.
Will you be able to keep pace with me?
Yes. Should not be a problem.
Very well then. Let us go.
Okay. Let's handle the harbor scene first.
Mm.
Okay. Icarus is on his way to the harbor. The rest of you guys, are you going to the temple or the harbor first?
Harbor first.
Okay, harbor first. So,
Yeah.
Icarus is a minute or two ahead of you guys as you stayed behind to talk for a couple of minutes. But you get, as Icarus gets to the harbor, it's quite dark. However, it's still light enough to see, just because of the moon is, it's starting to fade a little bit, but you can still see enough that you can easily make out the ship of this very large trireme floating in the harbor. It is just outside of bow shot range. You notice that it is not attached to anything. There would be no way to take a bow and arrow and shoot it. To get to it, you are going to have to untie a rowboat, which there are many of them nearby, and row out to it.
Before doing that, I would like to go as far as I possibly and then shoot out that if they can hear me if I shoot, if I shout.
You're not shooting it.
Yeah,
Not
Yeah,
yet, at least.
I would like to shout out that. Is it safe to come nearby? Like I would like to, shout out like this. Is it safe to contact or like board on the ship, something like that? Is it allowed?
As you shout out, you get closer, you row up to it, and you're kind of looking back over your shoulder because you row backwards normally. And you look over your shoulder and you can see there are several guardsmen on top of the ship, on the top deck. And there are two shapes apparently sitting about right in the middle, and they have a table or something between them.
It's them again.
And one of the guards in Greek shouts out to you, "Who hails the ship? Halt and speak your business."
Who has the ship? Okay.
Basically, who are you?
Okay. Yeah. I say my name and like Icarus from Sparta. And
one of the figures gets up, and you can see it. It's like it's looking at you. And you notice there's a couple of torches behind them, and it really casts his face in darkness, so you can't see his face, but you can make out the outline. This is a big guy, very tall, very broad shoulders, and he says to the guard, "Throw him a ladder. He may come aboard." And then he shouts out to you, "Come aboard and be welcome."
Yeah, I row to to them.
Okay. Yeah, the harbor's nice and calm. It's not rocking. There's no foul weather, so you can climb the net ladder pretty easily. And you get up to the ship, and I am going to make the roll for all, because they may botch it. You never know.
Okay.
I believe it's performance.
Charisma performance.
Okay.
Difficulty 7, I presume. Surprisingly, it's not difficulty 6. And I don't know why it is like that.
Probably because of the bonus you get from it. Okay, this is the guy.
Nice.
2. Nice.
1, 2, 3, 4. He does have a charisma specialty. Okay,
Oh,
and
nice. Even better.
I'm only going to make this roll once. I'm not going to make it for everybody. For the other figure, as you come up,
Well,
and
I hope.
I will send both of these pictures to you on Discord so that you may see them.
Okay.
Well, I hope this thing going to turn out to be a conflict too.
Not too bad, I guess. All right.
It's a success.
So, these two that you see are on the
By
left is a man, and like I said, he has very long, shorter length. His hair is gray. As you climb up, you see it. His hair is gray. His eyebrows are gray. He has a very strong, square chin. He's dressed very sharply. Very, very. It's like what you would consider in modern day you consider it a power suit. He's dressed in the equivalent of that kind of garment.
power suit?
Yeah, suit and tie, 3-piece suit, all that kind of stuff, right? But obviously they don't have that back then, so that's kind of the equivalent outfit you're looking at here.
Okay.
And the figure, so as you are climbing up, the one on your left is the man, the one on the right is a woman, and she is. So the man has about appearance 3. The woman has an appearance of 6.
Okay.
The guy is not ugly, but next to her, he just looks like, day-old
Plain.
beef. She is just stunningly beautiful. Long black hair. Her appearance is very exotic. She's obviously not Greek. She's quite tall, quite skinny. And I will be sending you these pictures momentarily.
Now, while you do that, I have to state this. Presence 1 affects. Here's the thing. 2 success. I remember as if it affects like 2-person or 4-person or something like that, and it starts from the weakest willpower to the highest willpower. So, because there's other humans here, they possibly do not
They're
affect
already
me
under his
with A.
effect. They are already. It's basically targeted at you.
Okay.
Yeah. And where's the other one here?
This is not the Bruja, right? If I remember correct, because
No, it's Democritus.
well,
Somebody recognizes the picture.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you fish around, you can see the one page of the bio of the sheet. So
Yeah. All right. So, there's a twinkle in the man's eye, and he radiates charisma, just authority. That's what you when you look at this man, that's what you feel. Is you just feel authority radiating from him, command. So, as he shakes your hand and he introduces himself as Carix Democritus. And Carix is a very special diplomatic title. Do you have politics?
No.
Okay, you do not recognize it.
Okay.
For
I have
anybody
one
who
not.
does have politics, I will tell you now, Carix is a diplomatic title from ancient Greece that essentially implies that he travels with the protection of the gods.
Interesting.
Super diplomat.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm
And,
going to do
the
that.
lady also
Yeah.
shakes your hand as well. And they are
Mm-hmm.
obviously not armed in any way. They have no weapons on them, no
Mm-hmm.
armor, just dressed
Mm-hmm.
sharply and to reflect their authority, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
there was some sort of game on the table in between them.
What kind of game is it?
Well,
Yeah.
it's the ancient Greek equivalent of cribbage.
Oh.
So whatever the ancient Greek equivalent of cribbage would be, that's what they're playing.
Interesting.
I don't
Interesting.
know
It's
how to
something
play
to pass
cribbage.
the
So.
time. Something to pass the time.
Okay. So if they are not saying anything, I'm
They
probably
invite
going
you.
to.
Welcome
Yeah.
aboard. Sit down.
Thank you. I just sit somewhere in some empty chair.
Yeah. So you notice as you were looking around, Icarus being a fighter, the guards are all armed with bows, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
They are all armed with short blades. They are all armored. They all look very competent. And it would probably be a very bad mistake to start any violence here.
Okay. Okay. So if they're not saying anything, I will probably start very straightforward. So my friends, my companies, which is not with me right now, they are in. We are going to head back to the Rome. We will head back to the Rome. Now, for some reason, they say this ship might be heading towards Rome. So I came here as some sort of messenger of them. I would like to ask if this ship is indeed going to Rome or not.
We were not planning on it, but we might be persuaded to do so. What can you offer for us?
Probably my friends can offer money, the simplest, straightforward, and most beneficial, I presume. Not for me, at least. They might offer some other things as well. To be honest, they are the ones who possess things, not me. As I said, I'm just the messenger or some sort of thing like that.
How do you, as this is the man speaking, how do you sell yourself so short? You possess things. I see broad shoulders, strong arms, a sword at your side, spears. Obviously, you
Yeah,
possess far more than mere wealth.
yeah, those are correct assessment. But my possessions at this moment will be more suicidal than helpful. That's why I'm not stating them. If you understand what I mean.
That did not suggest offering violence to us, but you have more to offer than money. You have experience, skill.
Your words, they are very wonderful. You flourish me. But sadly, I am not a man of words or politics. More straightforward person I am, individual. So, what is the requirement for this ship to take us back to Rome?
You must offer me something I want.
Do I remember how much silver we took out from the caves? How much money? You know?
Um, it was it's a large number, but not like a million pieces or anything like that. Say like 20
Okay.
pieces or 30 pieces, something. Yeah, maybe more than that. Let's go with
Okay.
100.
Okay. You said 100?
Yeah, let's do 100. Let's say 100.
Okay. 50 silver?
The woman actually starts to laugh, and she has this kind of throaty chuckle. Oh,
Is it
a
too
sense of
low?
you have a sense of humor as well. You are quite entertaining.
Thank you. Thank you. So, is this a yes or no?
This is a no.
70?
70 silver will but buy new oars for this ship. That is not nearly enough.
Did you guys say you have Camilla's clients or something like that to Icarus?
I do not think so.
No.
Um, let's see.
As you think about it, and you think deeply,
Yeah, I think deeply. I'm like stupidly thinking deeply. Like, what can be? What can be?
the rest of you guys show up on the pier, and you see,
Hmm.
as described, the trireme ship out of bow shot, um, and some people on the deck, and you can kind of hear the flag snapping in the breeze. Um, you can smell the salt spray. The waters are quite calm. It's actually pretty nice. It would be a really nice night to be on the water, actually.
Hmm.
How do
What
you
if? Yep. Go on.
how do you all want to approach this? Do you wish for me to approach first? Scout the place. Scout the. Or shall we approach it together?
I think mm, there's no need for excessive subtlety right now. Let's just go and see what we're dealing with.
Yeah, there are. Again, you guys can jump in a rowboat, no problem. You begin to row out there. Um, again, as said, the water is quite calm. There's no danger unless somebody decides to do something unusual
Right.
and rock the boat. You know, nobody's going to fall out. Uh, so you guys begin to row out, and one of the guardsmen who's looking around the ship sees you guys rowing, and he hails out in Greek, uh, "Who who goes there? State your business."
His friend. Okay, go ahead.
Agnes says, we seek to speak to your master.
Yeah. So um, Icarus turns around and looks, and you see them, and the man speaks up to you, Icarus, and says, "Are these friends of yours?"
Yes, yes, they are.
Well, he speaks out. Uh, lower the ladders. Allow them on board.
So now my friends are here. I think they should make the talk, not me. They are more suited for that. And I'm just like, leaning backwards and like literally just, looking at the sea and all that stuff. Not trying to, continue with discussions or something like that.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So you stop. Everybody, you guys come aboard. Again, you see the setup is described. Icarus is seated with his back to the water where you guys rode up. Somebody has already fetching more of those foldable, stools to sit on. and putting them in the area for you. Both Democritus and the lady stand up, and the lady introduces herself as Christina. They both shake all of your hands, unless anybody refuses to shake their hand.
That's a Greek name, right?
Christina is actually a derivative of an Arabic name of some kind. Technically, it's Akkadian.
Okay.
So her features reflect that?
Yes, her features reflect that she is kind of Persian.
I would like to use my Valerian one to check the guy and see if how potent he is at fighting.
Go ahead and make the roll for me.
Yes. It's perception plus empathy.
I believe so.
And was it difficulty 7? Maybe Nicodemus remembers it better.
6 or 7.
Let me check it. I had to open the book for
got
that.
it. Yeah, perception plus empathy, difficulty 7. Or medicine, whichever is easier.
Okay, empathy. If it's necessary, I will make it like a extended roll.
Yep, go ahead.
7. Okay, I got 1 success, so I should
It's
ask.
not enough to tell you anything, so you can keep rolling.
Oh, okay, that's not enough.
Nope, you need 2 successes to tell you anything.
Okay.
That's 3. Alright, so the first thing you learn is that he has very high stamina and fortitude roll.
Okay,
You can ask other questions after that.
of course. Yeah, I will make one more roll to not take too much of the time of the scene.
Don't you have to spend willpower for it?
Not
Okay,
for this, no.
so I can ask 2 questions, right? Because this is 4 success.
So no, you have 7 total successes. So you can ask 4 questions.
Okay, 4 questions. How good he is at melee?
You're better.
Okay. How good is he? How strong is he?
You're stronger.
Okay. What is his view towards killing? Like
His outlook
philosophy.
about killing is that he will do it if it gains him enough.
Okay. One last question. Does he have celerity?
That's not a question you can ask.
Okay, I understand.
No, wait. Yeah, I did say you could ask that question, didn't I? No, he does not have celerity.
Okay. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Nicodemus, your passive ability as you come aboard. Neither one of these two intends violence.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody here wants to have violence. Democritus, has... Fate has a lot of stuff planned for him. The woman, Christina... It's unusual. Fate seems to be undecided about her. If she died, the universe would not be that upset, but it does have plans for her.
Mm-hmm. Can I glimpse more precise upon the man to see if I can learn anything about his political stature?
Sure. That's a willpower point in the roll, correct, for this?
Fortunately, perception plus... yeah. No luck.
Yeah. He's not, you're not really getting anything. You kind of look at him and you're, just not getting anything more than what fate has already deigned to tell you.
Farewell. My name is Nicodemus of Thebes, and I feel privileged to make your acquaintance, Carex. It seems that fate has taken you a long way from home.
Yes, well, if you're Nicodemus, then I believe I recognize your companions. And he looks at all of you guys and he starts naming you off one at a time. You must be Labienacilius, and you must be Albanapolis, and where's Lucius Valerius?
He did not.
What? Yeah.
Sadly, he's no longer with us.
May I ask how you are aware of us? Does our reputation precede us so much as that someone like you would be aware of it?
He gives you an enigmatic smile. Trade secrets, my dear.
Can I try to make sense of this, man?
You have a good amount of politics, correct? You can roll wits plus politics. Is Discord transmitting my voice?
I think we can hear you now.
Okay.
But
Discord quit transmitting for a second. You can roll wits plus politics if you want to try to make sense of what he just said. Yeah, he said
Okay.
Trade secrets.
Trade secrets. But aside from that, would it also be worth making an Auspex 2 roll?
Go right ahead.
So, if I recall, that's perception plus awareness?
It's perception plus empathy at difficulty 8. Albana, he's a diplomat. It's his job to gather information on kindred he might run into.
Okay.
Miss Alongi isn't.
Maybe not. That's me.
Okay, so you guys have everybody introduces themselves. Everybody takes a seat, and you are all affected by their presence. And the woman kind of leans forward a little bit, and she asks them, "What are such illustrious Roman kindred doing here? You are quite far from home in a difficult time."
Well, difficult times require difficult decisions and difficult travels. You may call it a purpose.
We have much difficult time for Rome. Difficult time to be remedied by this kindred.
I would have thought that Prince Titus Ventrus Camillus would want to keep some of his more effective agents close to him, rather than send them away.
But we cannot fathom how big his reach when it comes to agents is. For all we know, we might be the poorest of his agents, and he just sends us to less relevant jobs.
Ultimately, we were told we were needed here.
She looks at you, Labiana. She says, "Has anyone ever told you you look like a clanmate of yours called Otello?"
No, I don't believe I have.
The resemblance is remarkable. If Carix Democritus had not said so, I would have surely mistaken you for him.
Ah, which is a good thing, yeah. But, my name was mentioned.
Yes, it is quite good. He was driven from my home by the eldest of the city. You would do well to distinguish yourself from him.
Sounds like his crimes were impeccable. What do you do?
Indeed.
So, you are here, and yet you have not answered my question, any of you, truly. Why Apollonia?
Well, I feel I have to be honest. We kind of came here with hopes that you would answer a similar question of ours. As no doubt your men have already told you, this town has troubles. Troubles that have sent many a kind into a gnawing and paralyzing fear for their lives, fear for their sanity, and fear for their
fate.
for their soul. Yes, and fate, yes, of course. And as you would have no doubt guessed, we've come here to deal with this, but we are interested what may be your purpose to be here in a times like that.
Democritus speaks back up. We are here to speak with Dashuri. You did not happen to see him as he was in the city, have you not? Have you?
Do you recognize the name?
That is the prince, the supposed Toreador prince.
Oh.
Don't think we've met him yet, have we?
No, I do not believe so.
So as it happens, we were about to investigate whether or not there were any other kindred in this city.
So, you were sent here to help. Again? Would you rephrase why you are here?
To help the city, to rid it of the aura of fear and despair that enveloped it.
And of evil.
Well, if reports from my day servants are correct, I believe you did. There was a huge party all day in the city. And are we right to lay it at your doorstep?
She nods. Yes, we do believe that we have succeeded, at least for now, on the task.
Then I suppose our congratulations are in order for a successful outing. Would you fill me in? What happened?
Are you trading information now?
If you ask a price, or we could just be simply making conversation. I will be leaving this port at daybreak no matter what.
Would it be inappropriate to ask you what were you what do you intend to discuss with the prince? I understand this is very straightforward, and I should probably not pry into such business, but these are tiring times. For the sake of trading information, perhaps we can exchange the common ground.
Well, what do you propose? A one-for-one question? After all, I have but one question to answer here, but I have many for you.
A one-for-one exchange sounds reasonable, yeah. I'd like to put forward my own question, too. What's the situation in Ilaria in regards to this war and to the events here?
Well, as to our purpose here inside this harbor and our talking with Dashuri, we are here to negotiate. To negotiate a trade of influence and protection from my patron. And to answer Miss Albana's question, there are many cities which are in favor of Rome and send its manpower and supplies, and there are many cities which desire an end to Roman occupation. The nation is not united. And now for my question to Nicodemus. What exactly happened here for you to have to... What exactly did you do to rid the city of evil?
We have tracked and located two kindred that were bent on corrupting the city and instilling fear, clearly putting it into their control. We have managed to persuade them to leave.
And my follow-up for Albana.
Yes?
When you persuaded them to leave, what rewards were you able to gather from their possessions?
We are able to get a series of scrolls and some monetary and some silver. Is that correct? That is everything that you got from them, right?
Yes, that's pretty much it.
Out of character, would it also be worth mentioning that we rescued Icarus?
No, don't talk to him.
Yes. She's also going to say, and we also got ourselves 10 shield motion stickers from freed him from this bondage.
I see. So, it is your turn to ask us a question.
Okay. I don't know if they've told us already, but who is your patron? Who are you representing?
My patron has left me strict orders not to involve him except as a last resort. But I will say that he is a man of much resources, great wealth and power, sufficient to command even me, to provide this ship at, honestly, no impact to his own forces.
Okay.
Those who serve him reap great rewards.
Interesting.
Icarus, it's. Go on, please.
Oh, no, I was just saying, interesting but understandable.
Nicodemus has been keeping close eye on the both of them. Have they in any way strangely reacted when we informed them about getting rid of the two kindred from here?
Nope, that they seem to be hanging on your every word, as though they are searching for hidden meanings in everything you say.
I would like to ask Nicodemus how long there is till the sunrise. Like how much time we have left to discuss.
I think the night has just barely begun. Is it true?
It's true. Chris?
Yeah,
I can't hear Chris at all.
really, it's only been dark a couple hours.
Okay, we have time. Okay.
Yeah, plenty of time.
Yeah. I would like to ask something, but it's your turn, so I can wait.
Norman also said they'd be
Please,
leaving
go
at
ahead.
daybreak.
Okay. Do you know
Is that-
any?
Is that right?
Yeah, they're leaving.
Do you
at
know?
day.
I forget.
Do you know any kindred living in this city that you might point us?
Personally, no. I know of the prince,
But you don't know where.
but I don't know them personally.
Oh, not necessarily personally, more like where we can find them. That's
Their
why I
residence.
asked. Yes, there is.
No, I do not. If I did, they would be here at this very moment, or I would be there.
I understand.
So, since it appears that we are both all waiting on either my guest to arrive, if he deigns to arrive, I'm told that you plan on going back to Rome. Is that true?
At some point, yes. Wouldn't be much of a secret.
How urgent is your need?
Not highly so.
Soonish.
It's not something that we are doing in a hurry.
It's not urgent. Put it that way. So in good time.
I mean, shouldn't they make a rule to, remember how urgent or not it is?
I mean, I can, if you guys really want to make a roll, I can let you, but
I do not think it is urgent. Pretty sure it isn't.
Well, I presume we should get those scrolls at least back to one. So is that?
so while we wait, why don't we talk a little bit about scrolls? I am a collector of such items, and he's going to lie to you guys. And if he pulls this off, you're going to buy this line. You're going to buy this hook, line, and sinker. Like, I know he
Okay.
would personally be like, be doubting this, but if he rolls well enough.
Okay. So there is no contest.
Please remind me when he asked about what we took. Has any of us mentioned any scrolls?
Icarus did,
Believe.
And I believe-
and I think Albina did as well.
I never mentioned about scrolls. So just to correct it, I never mentioned about it.
Okay. Well, he's got
I think I just
specialty,
did, though.
so he's got 4 successes on this subterfuge roll.
Is it contested with willpower or what? Like,
Wits plus
Perception.
empathy to see through this if you like.
yeah, I
going
would
to-
like to.
Plus
I'm going to use the
Wits plus empathy, difficulty 6. You must
I'll give you
meet or beat 4 successes.
Motherfucker.
the most I can beat it. Difficulty 6, right?
Okay.
Correct.
This is going to have to be very.
What's
very
the lie
hard to
about?
roll.
Is he telling us that he's a collector of scrolls of sorts?
Yep. And he has.
That's the lie.
He has literally. The lie is that he is okay with you guys not selling him any of this. Like the lie is to hide his interest in this. That's the
Okay.
lie.
So, if you're interested in scrolls, you might have the right skills to understand them too.
was just
Presumably,
gonna
am I
say.
correct?
Well, that depends on the scroll itself. Many of them require much study.
I see.
Would it be worth at least showing one to him to see if he can make sense of it?
No.
No?
No.
I do not understand. You collect any sort of scroll?
No, not any sort. But until I see what you have to offer, I cannot guarantee that I don't want it. As you can
I'm
see,
not certain.
my
Have we
pockets are
mentioned
deep.
that we have? Have we mentioned that we have scrolls for sale?
Yeah, no, we mentioned that we have the scrolls, not for sale.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm afraid they're not for sale.
If that's how you feel
I'm
about
sure-
it, I won't press the issue.
I'm sure you can offer a good price for them.
Did they took my weapons and, by the way, shield and all that stuff?
No, they didn't take anything from you.
Okay.
Perhaps we can see about making copies and delivering them to you once it's possible. That will satisfy you.
I don't think it's worth the effort if you don't even want to show them to me now. Why would you go through the effort of making a copy and then giving them to a courier and trying to send them to me if I don't even know what I'm buying?
What about this? Would you like to have the scrolls after you deliver us through?
That's not acceptable.
Because out of character, aren't we supposed to be sending them to Artemis?
Hmm.
Yeah, we're supposed to be. And out of character, basically everything he said pretty much implicates him as being involved.
Yeah,
So
that's why
Uh,
the lie roll.
Okay.
I think normally Nicodemus would buy it, but he asked a bizarre question: "What possessions have you taken from the defeated vampires?" It's like, oh shit, he's involved.
So here's my question. I would like to make perception empathy my Valerian one power. I will examine the woman, and my question will be: will she kill us for those letters? To get those letters, will she kill us? So it's about fighting warriors. So
Okay. All right. That's not one of the questions you can ask. You can ask her outlook on killing as a philosophy.
Okay. It's probably the same with the other guy.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure we already know how he feels about that. And if it's what,
Well, both of them seem completely at ease. They're not agitated at all. They're totally relaxed.
I'm curious, since we're discussing things, why come here and not directly to Rome to negotiate exchange of influence?
Because we
It's
don't
too
want to
far?
exchange influence with Rome. That seems like a pretty obvious answer. Rome has its own problems.
And where do you
Patron
stand?
has his own problems. Apollonia has its own problems. The world does not revolve around Rome.
It's true, but what happens in Rome often radiates to other places. And let's hope not, should Rome fall tomorrow, what do you think would happen?
I think the Bruiser would burn it to the ground.
What would happen next? Once the buildings are burned, kindred are staked, and the soil is salted, where would they go next?
Well, if I were Carthaginian, I would tell you. I am not privy to their counsel. What do you think would happen next?
Well, I think those countries that align themselves with Rome, who exchanged influence with Rome, would have something to fear about. I mean, what's to stop the Carthaginians from seizing all?
I believe you're familiar with the fact that Hannibal has been recruiting allies on the peninsula already. So, have they raided and destroyed any of their allies?
No one attacks the allies during war. That comes after.
Have any of you
Well
been to
said.
the continent on which Carthage sits? Has any of you been to the southern shore of this sea and seen how they treat their own longtime allies?
There is a thin difference between allies and subjects.
Indeed, you should ask the Romans about that.
indeed.
Seem like you admire the Carthaginian cause.
Hardly.
Is she lying? Like while saying hardly, is she lying too?
I don't know. Let's find out if you can tell.
Sure.
Let's see how well he
What?
hides his intentions.
Okay, and what do I roll in exchange?
Contested.
Can both of us roll?
Sure. I don't know if you can beat 8 successes, though. No matter what it is.
Motherfucker.
Oof.
Yeah, not even fucking bothering.
Like my dice pool is like 4 or something, or 5, so there's like not
So-
even. It's impossible, literally impossible.
So what's the roll?
It's either going to be wits plus empathy or perception plus empathy, as you're kind of reading his body language or reading his words.
I only have 4 dice to pull anyways.
You could also do a wits plus subterfuge. I'll give you guys that too.
That's interesting.
To notice?
Same dice pool for me.
Oh, yeah, to beat his 6 successes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
8 actually because it attends. But
This guy is clearly
Sorry.
out of a league.
In politics,
he's a good liar. I'll give him that. He's a very good liar.
yeah.
Got to be a good liar to be a politician. In all fairness.
So you don't admire them, but should they come and ask for your allegiance? That would be better than the current deal with Rome.
My allegiance is not to Rome.
I know. That's why I used the words I used.
Rome never offered me allegiance. It never offered me the chance. Why do
How
you
so?
serve? All of you. Why do you serve? Why do you serve Rome?
I don't. I am sticking with my companies, which helped me through some hard stuff. I don't have any alliance to any land.
Rome is the land of my gods and goddesses. It is the land that provided to me, and it is the land of my of both my mortal and immortal families. It is only natural that I find myself fighting for it.
I'm different.
Great study.
Mine.
I seek knowledge, and Rome offers me this.
It's the same for me. My sire has been an ally of Rome, and therefore I am an ally of Rome.
That's it. Just knowledge. Tradition. Although, don't get me wrong, I have great respect for tradition.
Well, you know, I've already been, let's use the euphemism, tainted with Rome. So where would I go? Carthaginians would burn me to the ground. I'm certain that the further east I go, the worse the moods are.
You don't look or sound Roman. I don't think it'd be too upset with you. Besides, they would forget it in a mere generation anyways.
If I were to live a generation. I mean, you seem to know us already. So maybe, who knows? Who knows who else know our names and our allegiances?
I can tell you that Bukaphos thinks quite highly of all of you.
Do you know who that?
Albana, you do.
Sorry, can you repeat? What was the name you mentioned?
Bukaphos. As in one of the fourth gens of
As in the fourth generation Prince of Thebes, Lasombra.
I'm guessing Labiena hasn't met them. I don't recognize the name.
No idea who that is. I doubt Nicodemus would know.
7 gated or 100 gated? I assume 7 gated.
Assume what?
I assume you mean 7 gated Thebes, as opposed to Greek Thebes.
Thebes in Egypt.
Yes.
The Thebes in Egypt.
Greek Thebes.
Yeah.
Greek Thebes.
Yes.
Can I ask? Can I try to see if he's bullshitting you? That
Yeah, same roll. Wits. They can do wits empathy or wits subterfuge.
empathy.
God damn it.
We can deal with this guy with those rolls. Never.
In fact, if you're not in a hurry to return to Rome, why don't you return with me? You can meet my patron and see what he has to offer. Or perhaps, and he looks over to Christina, Christina's patron might be interested. You might like what he has to offer.
So, can you remind me where is your patron living in? I like
He prefers not to be
geography.
named, but he is east of here.
East.
I'm like,
We
I'm
did-
like. Oh, okay.
Oh, I was just about to say, does any of us have any kind of suspicions as to who it might be, given his description?
No. You really could not tell.
So,
You can make guesses in game or out of game. I'm not telling who. It's really up to you guys.
fair enough.
Well, I'm a
They
wanderer
have taken
myself.
great pains to conceal this, so.
Yeah.
I'm a wanderer myself, and at the moment, my friends here, I'm following their steps. Therefore, I'm okay to go to your client and meet with him or her, or decline your offer and do as my friends will do. So don't look at me. And I'm like, grabbing my hands together, like, and then just leaning back again.
I'm looking over to your patron. Elaborating.
He is content to allow you to think.
Well, could you tell us more about yourself then, Lady Christina?
Oh, me?
Yes.
I am but a proud servant of my own patron. I believe you would all benefit highly by going to his service if you so desired, but he would never force you.
Can you give few examples of what your patron can offer us?
Yes, let us entertain this thought.
She kind of waves at her face and hair. Such enhancements are easily within his power.
Sadly, a warrior does not find worth in outlook. My life passes with bearing sword and spear wounds on my skin.
Hey, you can't really complain about an advantage. Who knows, perhaps your opponent could have been distracted by your lean face while he tries to stab you, and thus give you an opening.
My opponent, if he will be distracted, it will be my spear in his mouth that distract him from doing as he wants to.
I mean, if you're fighting a Toreador, then a good preface could genuinely distract them.
So your patron is the one that granted you such beauty the beauty that you.
God
Yes,
damn it.
he
Sorry.
took what
Impressive,
I had and gave me more.
impressive gift. That is the art of fast crafting.
His power goes beyond flesh crafting.
We may yet serve your patron then, but for now, we find ourselves dedicated to our own.
But it is a notion only a fool would not consider, considering the examples being shown to us. I mean, the both of you are very impressive sight to look upon and to converse with, and your patron must be powerful indeed to employ such professionals to their entourage. When did you say you were? How long did you say you were planning on staying here?
Unfortunately, we must leave with the dawn.
So at this, yeah.
Didn't he say that he's going to stay here a day?
No, he said he's
I
leaving at
thought
day, leaving at the daybreak.
At daybreak, yeah.
So Icarus at this stage like touches the shoulder of Nicodemus and says, "We left our other friend too long. Shouldn't we meet with them?"
Oh, what?
Inclined to
yes,
agree.
yes. At dawn. So little time to think. But we shall certainly sport the idea.
Well, if you guys change your minds, then it's easy to send someone, a messenger, before this ship leaves the dock.
Agreed.
Yes, perhaps we'll do it. For the moment, yes, we have left some of our compatriots, and we are bound to rejoin with them.
Yes.
So I believe our ghouls are still in the city as well.
Yeah. I mean, things looking good, but we can know what might happen. So it's better to not leave our friends alone in this night after such events.
We might potentially be going into a situation where, we know very little about who we're going to be meeting and.
Yeah. So it's time to leave then.
Yes, it seems that our pleasant conversation needs to be interrupted short. I only hope we've been entertaining to you as much as I've enjoyed this conversation. I hope we'll meet again.
I would like to, while we do that, I would like to check the guy again and use my Valerian one to ask a question. And again, I can make it as a contest, extended rule if it's necessary. Yeah.
They can't resist.
No, it's
this.
3 success. Okay.
They can't resist.
Yeah.
This.
The guy. My question is towards the guy. Did his strength change? Did he become stronger?
Nope. He has done nothing to physically indicate he's getting ready for violence.
Okay. So I go up and make, I don't know, gesture saying like goodbye, I don't know, and then slowly walk towards our little, what is it called?
Rowboat.
Your little boat.
Yeah, our little boat to sail back.
Okay.
I was also going to ask
to stop you. They shake your hands. They wish you very warmly goodbye. Good luck. Hope we see you again.
Mm-hmm.
I also wanted to see if it.
Very nice. And Laviena, you were going to say something?
Sorry, I was just going to say, would it be worth making one more attempt at or a perception?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
What was the roll again?
Perception plus empathy at difficulty 8. That's a standard book roll.
Right. Okay. I always think it's something different, but maybe I'm thinking
By
Masquerade rather than Dark Ages.
By the way, Now that you are talking about aspects, I remembered something. Chris, if you remember, aspects explanation says vampires with the possession of that discipline might see some sort of clairvoyance. Is it called like that? About
That's what
something
Tyler
like.
was.
Only one.
No, it's not like it's like in the explanation, small thing, like very small. If it's a danger, I don't know, which is totally left to the storyteller.
Labiena, they're both vampires.
Right. I was hoping to see more than that, but you know, dice. So
Yes, they have
I was hoping
given
to see it.
to Icarus. They have given no indication of any kind that they're preparing for violence. The soldiers on the deck have not readied a weapon. They have not drawn their bows. They haven't drawn a blade. They haven't taken up any kind of aggressive position.
Okay.
They're literally just patrolling the top and making sure nobody tries to sneak up on you guys, and making sure you guys don't attack their people.
Okay. So I just go to the boat. Yeah, climb down from the net and
Okay.
web.
It is no problem. Again, everything is super calm. There's nothing in your way. I don't see any need to make a roll here. You climb down and get in the boat.
Yep. And presumably we will join to Ihamus and Alexio.
Well, if everybody's leaving, is that the case?
Yeah.
That is the case.
Okay. They wish you all a very warm goodbye and hope to see you again. And now to switch to Ilemis and Alexio. And Ilemis, it takes you about half an hour. You get to the... You know what? Before we do that, I think now's a good time to take about a 5-minute break if anybody wants to take a break. So let's come back in about 5 minutes.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
That's
Okay, so back to it.
Yep.
You guys travel... Ilemis and Alexio travel for about 45 minutes or so. It's about how long it takes to get to that temple. And when you get there, it's completely empty. It's very dark underneath. But you have Ilemis has eyes of the beast, so he can see perfectly fine. And it looks like a temple of a standard small temple with a small pit in the middle, where you would cut the sacrifice and allow the body to fall in the pit, which is so you go look at it, and it's less than a meter deep. It's a very simple sacrificial pit. There is nothing sinister about it in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. I thought I was going after the caravan, but never mind.
Well, you said you wanted to check the temple first.
No,
Yeah.
actually, we were meant
Oh,
to
you
check
were.
the temple
Oh,
after we're dealing with that. We're done with the trireme.
Okay. I apologize. To the caravan, then. So you head out after the caravan instead. All right. You're just going after him.
Yep. If that's could you potentially celerity speed up my travel time?
You have to roll it, or you have to spend a lot of blood, like every round.
Ah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have that combination discipline of the Assamites, unfortunately.
Oof.
All right, you get a mile outside of the town. That's about 1.5 kilometers for you non-imperial rebel scum. Technically it's 1.6, and nobody's laughing. I don't get it.
We're too focused on the game. Sorry.
All right, yeah. So you get about a mile outside of town, and Ilemis, please give me some perception plus alertness rolls at difficulty 5.
Is that accounting for aspects?
No, it is not.
Or is that his eyes?
So,
This is
by the way,
accurate based.
didn't I almost had aggravated damage?
Yes, he did.
Are they healed?
No, they are not. Because he didn't tell
Okay.
me he was spending blood to heal, and he didn't have enough blood to spend, as a matter of fact.
But isn't he like essentially an NPC? So
Well, he had, I believe, 4 levels of ag.
3.
3? Yeah. He had 3 levels of ag, so account for those wound penalties. And I believe Luke is rolling for him, so...
Ah, 3 aggravated is hard.
And I can roll for Alexio, I guess, if I need to. I don't need to. Yeah, you're being followed by many creatures.
Ooh, many creatures. Jesus.
What kinds of creatures? Just animals?
Well, that remains to be seen. But they are hidden. They're not showing themselves. And they are tracking you. And Alexio. What do you do? You can't tell because they're still hidden. You're gonna have to do some sort of stop and like listen, look, scouting against a group stealth.
Yeah. Or just activate Majesty.
All right. Alemus, perception. Perception, alertness, difficulty 8.
Ooh.
Auspex does help, so that lowers it to 7. Whoever's following you is moving through the underbrush on either side of the road. And when I say road, it's... Okay, so you're traveling out in the countryside. You've gotten past some of the farms. You're into the woodlands where the people cut wood. So it's like a logging track. So you're in the forest. Which...
I think I'm going to
set the scene here.
Oh, this map. I love this map. It reminds me memories.
I think I might exercise the better part of valor here.
Run.
I'm just gonna turn backwards, keeping an eye out, and head back towards the city.
Okay. As you and Alexia are like, maybe we shouldn't be out here by ourselves. The howling starts up.
No. I assume it would be for the rest of us to. Well,
you
that's
guys
if
are in the
that's
city.
where we're headed.
You're in the city, nice and safe.
I'm gonna spend. I'm gonna be spending bloods to start vaulting with celerity.
And you're gonna leave Alexio behind, are you, caregiver?
Oh.
I mean,
Oops.
does Apollo want that? Does Apollo want his clients to abandon?
Just run, man.
Okay. Okay. Spending 5 blood to buff my strength to 7. Spending 1 blood on celerity. Running, grabbing Alexio, running.
Okay. Pack tactics against dexterity plus athletics. We are now in a chase scene, and they are attempting to divert you off of the beaten trail into the woods. That's they're trying to put you where your celerity is not an advantage as you bolt. That's what this roll is.
Should I be applying dice?
You should be rolling dexterity plus athletics.
Yeah. Not with the celerity modifier though, because I'm spending it.
Right. So, what they're trying to do is head you off into the thick undergrowth where your celerity will not help you.
Difficulty 6.
That's gonna it's gonna be contested against difficulty 6.
5,
God.
so 5 plus 2. And it is 1,
Oh.
2, 3, 4.
As you turn, you start to take off. A couple of the wolves jump out and snap at your heels, and you see another one flash across the path, and you can't quite jump over it, and you have to turn, and you stumble into the bushes. This severely cut this. They do not have a specialty for this.
He got 7 success, celerity, blood spam, so he has.
No, he gets extra actions. He
Yeah.
spent blood for celerity extra actions.
Okay.
Well, actually, right? That's what you did, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you are in the thick undergrowth woods. Branches are snagging at your clothing. You now, as far as strength goes, you have easily enough strength to pick and hold. Oh, fuck. Fuck me, fuck Alexio, and fuck him right in the ass. 1 round. How much fortitude does he have? And he must roll it.
You mean, Elenis needs to?
No, Alexio needs to roll it when you pick him up.
Oh, fuck!
What? Oh, shit.
True faith. When he touches him with true faith, it immediately begins to cause aggravated damage.
Wow.
Oh, gee.
But
Which
damage
is
is.
difficulty 8 to soak, by the way.
But it's. Ooh, yeah, nice. But its damage is like 2d10, right? Because he has rate
No,
true
it's
rate.
auto ag.
Ooh, it's auto rate.
Yes, auto.
Yeah.
I know about it.
It's-
Yeah. All right, Alexio's
damn
got
it.
1 ag, and she starts screaming, ah! As the flesh starts to sizzle where you're holding her.
Oh, fuck. So, like, drop rapidly, like, try and, like, find something to wrap his, like, hands in, and, try to, probably unsuccessfully, to pick up again, to pick Alexia up
All right.
again, just...
Strength plus
Does
athletics.
it work?
Well, okay, it's an
Is
action.
that good?
You have 5 extra actions now, right? For celerity.
Yeah.
So it's 1.
Yeah.
You drop, and you start. It's going to be 2 actions to start ripping your clothing and stuff off to try to wrap your upper body, and like around your face and stuff where no flesh would hit. Okay. So that's 2. A third one, roll strength plus athletics. Pick Alexio up.
For a moment, when you say it's aggravated damage, I thought like it's coming from the wolves.
Nope.
No.
Yes, you easily pick Alexio up,
Nice.
hoist them over the shoulder. And you now have 2 more actions. Although your lower body now is essentially bare to the sticks and sharp branches and rocks and whatever else is on the forest floor here, poking and scraping and scratching at you as you try to burst through, and hopefully you can make it past the wolves. So,
And back on the path.
give me a roll of. We're going to go with Dex Athletics at difficulty 9. As you stumble and hopefully you don't trip over the low-lying bushes and all that stuff.
Oh. It's gonna be tough.
You can do it.
Can I spend the willpower for this?
Yeah. Sure.
Oh,
One success.
total.
So 1 success.
You take a few stumbling steps forward and make 1 more. You have another action.
No willpower this time.
Yep, none this time.
Damn.
Oh, you can do it.
Mhm.
No, I cannot
That's a
do it.
fail.
4.
Actually, that
This
is a
is
botch.
Alright.
yeah. This
Yeah,
is
that is
more
a
than
botch.
not.
Botch.
And
That's a botch.
Alexio hits a branch and goes flipping off of your shoulder. You drop him again.
Ditch him. Ditch Alexio.
Because Alexio was literally trying not to hold on to him. Was trying to like keep his limbs away. So therefore, he hits a branch or something that's just like kind of low hanging, and it flips him off of Ilemus's shoulder. Ilemus is still standing. Alexio's dead flat on the ground. Alright, new round. Let me call up Werewolf Sheet.
Shit.
Yes, I have a generic Werewolf Sheet.
Ouch.
And shoot, I don't have it
That's-
filled out. Oh, but hey, that's to your guys' advantage.
You guys advantage? Did you?
Well, to Alexio and Ilemus's. Because I'm going to give them a standard of Dex 4, Wits 3, so 7. Because they're going battle form. They are all 4 of them are spending rage to instantly transform to Krynos. They're in battle form and they're rolling.
I mean, it seems like a dead end for them. You know that, right? Like fighting with
Right.
several. We are definitely playing in a high difficulty game. That's for sure.
Well, who was the one who decided to take 2 NPCs and go into werewolf-infested land?
Yeah.
The NPC.
Fortunately, it's not. These aren't player characters.
So, how much intelligence does Ehemus has?
Ahamas is pretty smart.
Yeah, so he could figure that.
Ilemus, I mean, sorry. Yeah. Well, I mean, what are you gonna do? If it had been you guys as a full group, they probably wouldn't have done anything. A little too big. Or they might
Yeah,
have
and
thought they were
then-
stupider than werewolves. And werewolves are stupid.
Well,
Really? That's
if we
They're
can
stupid, but
survive
they're
one
incredibly
round,
strong.
one person might be able to get out of this.
Ouch.
Alright, change up the soundtrack.
Technically, you could say speciest.
I don't think werewolves count as like humans, so.
Alright, Alexio is at he's at base 7, that's not bad.
So, you said that there's 3 werewolf?
4.
4.
4.
Alright. Ilemus, what are you at for initiative? You're probably gonna go first.
Yeah, my bad.
What's your base if you don't spend celerity? I think it's more than 12.
Yeah.
If you don't spend celerity.
14 if I don't spend celerity.
Yeah. How much
There you
celerity are
go
you
first.
spending this round?
All of it.
Alright. So make your D10 roll. This might matter.
Someone is eating popcorn or cheese. Well, I understand.
Alright. Ilemus, you're up first. What are you doing?
I was just going to turn around, see the werewolf, see Alexio. Just shout to Alexio, run! Turn around to face the werewolf, spend 1 point of will to activate Majesty, then 1 blood to activate full celerity, rest to buff Dex by 5 points, and and every other action is going to be an attack.
You can only spend half your celerity for attack.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's book rules.
Rounded
Yes.
up.
Yep. So you can have 4 attacks here, and 2 other actions.
Well, one of the 2 others will be to activate Majesty, and then wait, no, because this
Yeah.
and would praying to Apollo count as a mental action and thus not happen alongside Majesty?
Majesty is a full action. That is what you are doing. You gather up, and you just like activate that.
So yeah, 4 attacks, Majesty, and Loki praying to Apollo that at least he'll be able to save one person.
They circle. They seem to be affected by your Majesty. They begin to circle around the 2 of you. Two of them, you catch the glimpse as they start running in a circle. These 8 foot, maybe 9 foot tall, 400-pound. That's over 2. That's close to 3 meter. 220 kilo, hulking monstrosities of fur and anger. Stumble through the growth. And they're reluctant to attack you. But 2 of them slam in to do claw attacks on Alexio.
Oh boy.
Egg damage.
First one hits with because he is on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 2, 2. So strength of 6, claws 2, 7, 8, 9.
Wow. 9 aggravated
Yep, this will add
damage.
1, 2, 3, 4. He can possibly soak 2.
Or spend a blood. No, he did not. He is probably dead.
Alright, well, he takes 4 ag from that.
He had 1, so it's 5 aggravated from 7 healed. Alexio, goodbye.
1, 2, 3, 4. Clicking that off. He is now fully mauled and is about ready to be crippled.
Oof.
Same thing for the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6, 7, 8. 11. Oh my god.
And I doubt a miracle's going to come in here.
2,
4, 5, 6.
2.
Yeah, even with fortitude, that's done.
Yeah, he's
Alexio
dead.
has been
Bye
destroyed.
bye. Can you describe how he got destroyed?
So, Alemus activates Majesty. He rolls his shoulders back. He stands up straight. Takes a deep breath. Alexio, run! And from him is this incredibly aura of the most powerful priest you've ever seen laid eyes on. That basically emanates from him. Nobody would dare even say a bad word to this man now. He's just too intimidating, too majestic, to if I can use the term. And 2 of them, they run in a circle, right? They're like pacing in a circle around you guys. And as they realize that Alemus is focused on the 2 in front of him, the other 2 rush in, claw, bam, bam, hit him a couple of times, just slice through his flesh, and you hear Alexio scream out in pain, ah! And poof, he puffs into ash, and you know that Alexio's dead.
Bye, Alexio.
Oh, Alexio.
And we shall call tonight's video "Why You Always Take Common Sense."
This is why you don't split the party.
That too.
This is why you don't go to woods in ancient times.
Alone. Or
Yeah.
near alone.
I mean,
Okay, so that happens. Ilemis, what would you like to do?
just walk away, like majestically walk away.
He could simply just walk back to town.
Yeah.
But would he? At this point,
Would you make it?
Oh yes, he has plenty of time.
he would make it if he went.
Because
I mean, as long as
they have to spend willpower to attempt to attack him.
yeah,
Which they might.
but yeah, which they might. But
The
like,
good part
as
is
long as he
werewolves
does,
are affected by presence. They are affected by it.
yeah.
Were they
Good
protecting
thing.
that caravan or just
Nope, they just live
Territorial.
in this area.
so just territorial?
Mm-hmm.
Seeing. Okay. Seeing Alexio
I would like you to look at his nature and demeanor.
yeah.
Nature, so this-
I know what he would do, but I'm not going to tell you guys what he would do because I'm not playing him right now.
Sure.
So
Can we write our opinions? Say our opinions. What he would do.
I have an idea in my head, but
go ahead, go for it.
Okay. Spend 1 blood to pop claws, 1 blood to activate celerity, 4 to buff.
You still have 3 attack actions that you can take this round. You hear it.
Okay.
But if you attack, your majesty goes away.
Yeah. But for each target he attacks, right? Not for all of them.
No, for
because
all of them. If he makes
those...
1 aggressive action.
Yeah, I'm going.
No, actually, you're right. It only fails for that one target, but yes. So, are you going to attack, or what are you going to do?
3 strikes on 1 target.
Okay.
With a mourn. As Elena lets out a mournful cry.
However, you don't have claws this round.
Yeah, it takes
draw knife.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Draw knife?
Yeah, he has a knife.
Is it silver?
No.
Okay.
A mournful cry of anger and at himself.
I don't think it is. I'll check.
For letting this happen. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty 6. And I'm telling you now, this werewolf's going to dodge.
Difficulty?
6. Nice. Wow. Excellent.
Any specialties involved in that?
Chris didn't list any specialties,
Yeah.
I don't think.
Okay. Still pretty good though.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. You beat him. You got 1 success. You
Nice.
strength plus 1 for the knife. Actually, no, it's a regular knife, right? There isn't a dagger. This does make a difference.
Regular knife, I believe
So
you
then it's
said.
just strength. Roll strength, plain strength, lethal damage. There's no damage modifier on a knife.
How much little can do?
Two damage. Not much since it's a werewolf.
Yes, I know. You should keep the majesty. You just marked your word on a suicide note.
All right.
Yes, that is indeed what happened.
All right, he soaks that.
So,
All right, you have two more attacks you can make.
can one of those be to turn and run?
He has 4 more actions he can take.
And one of those, and the difficulty 7 for the next one, or is it just 6?
This is celerity. You have no penalties.
Okay.
I don't think. Let me check. Let me double check because they did change celerity. So that is a good question to ask, and it's something we need to be cognizant of.
So what are we checking now?
I know in the last fight I didn't make you do penalties, but I really wasn't concerned with it, to be honest.
Here's the celerity.
Additionally, you may spend 1 point of blood to ignore difficulty penalties for multiple actions up to their celerity dots for the turn. This does not mitigate the dice pool reduction, so you lose 1. So you will lose 2 dice for this.
Whoa, it's metal music. Okay. Interesting.
Now, the name of the song is Vampires Don't Die.
Are you being sarcastic?
How ironic.
Clearly,
And it's sung by a group called Power Wolf.
Oh god, that's even more fitting.
We've been powerwolf to death.
Holy crap. That could not be any more fitting.
Too soon.
Alright, roll damage plus 2 extra.
Oh, dear.
Wow. This really
so
is
yeah,
just...
and
'Tis too soon, believe.
Alright, one more. Alright, come on.
Probably a good idea that we held off on these, what were they called again?
Well, at least it's not a botch.
Not a botch.
Not a botch.
Yeah, that's not a botch.
Alright.
1 success.
That other werewolf is not attacking you. It has moved in front of you, though, cutting off any kind of escape, really. So, that's it. Unless you have something you're doing with those other 2 actions. Alright, I'm going to take that as a no.
one last thing just for reference. Throughout that whole flurry, Elemis is going to be praying for forgiveness from the gods and his allies for his failures.
So, what is this round? You hear the cry, "Ah!" and he puffs into ash, and your hand just drops the knife, and you start dropping prayers for the dead, and Thanos, it's Thanos and
Thanatos.
Thanatos. Thank you. I knew it wasn't Thanos.
Thanatos is the
Thanatos and Charon guide his soul gently to the dead lands as I pay penance for my debt. Allow my actions to function as his payment through your ferryman to the ferryman, and you start dropping things as you rush forward and you begin to slash. And the werewolf tries to duck and dodge. You catch a little kind of like dings off of him, And then your second one, you slash back again the other way. Again, it dings off him. Your third one just misses him completely. And then you stand up and you take a step back real quick in an aggressive fighting stance. And you realize the one werewolf that has yet to act has made sure to cut off your retreat, but has not made an aggressive move against you. And Alexio gets to decide first.
Alexio?
Alexio, sorry.
Elamus?
Elamus.
One blood for celerity, and 4 blood to continue buffing physicals.
Okay.
Even though it will not do any good against these things.
Alright. You got first action.
It's a shame that I told
Clawing at
Are you going to spend blood?
Yeah,
blood
I
for
spent
calls instead of buffing physical?
Yeah. I thought I said that, but
But I didn't he like spend blood already to get the claws?
All right. Well, he hasn't acted yet, so 1 blood for celerity, 1 blood for claws. That leaves 4 blood for buffing stats.
Yep, and that puts every physical at 8 right now. And going to be clawing at the werewolf I've been trying to knife.
All right, dexterity plus brawl.
Nice. 4 bonus dice. And a claw gives extra 2 damage, so don't forget that. Don't.
Yep.
Oh, are you gonna dodge?
The werewolf thinks you are worthless and can take your attack. So he is
Interesting.
not going to dodge. He is spending rage for extra actions, and he's just going to shrug this one off. He thinks. Strength plus 4 extra successes plus 2 for claws. Roll it.
And claws +1.
I think they're plus 2. Teeth are plus
It's
1.
No,
plus
that's
2.
+1.
They used to be.
Plus 2.
They're probably like that in Revise or something, but I think I've looked.
But he can soak it, so.
Yeah, they can soak it with stamina.
But do they have 9 stamina?
No, they don't. Claws do
So-
only get strength plus 1. That is unusual.
Not much love for Gangrel.
1, 2. Ooh. So he he's
Alright,
dead.
He's rolling his rage.
What? He's not?
Yeah.
Nope, he's not. He got a success. He is in
jeez.
frenzy.
He
hit him.
has like
So a
He
werewolf
is
in
at,
frenzy.
has no wound penalties. He is at 5 levels of damage. He's at 5 ag right now.
Mhm.
Two more, and he's dead. He is in frenzy. He is in werewolf frenzy.
Oof.
All right, you hit this werewolf. Boom! It surprisingly he staggers, and you think he's going down, and then you see the wound knit itself shut. Just whop, knits itself shut. But there's a huge, nasty scar across his torso, and you can tell he's hurt bad.
Mm-hmm.
But the vitality, this terrible vitality of the werewolf's not letting him go down without a fight. And he just roars in your face, "Rah!" Does the Hulk face, "Rah!" And there is no intelligence in their eyes. This thing is full on rage. Plus, roll 2d. I take that back. He is dead. True faith damage.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh
Really?
yeah.
Of course. I'd forgotten about that.
But does it damage the werewolf? Like, isn't it against the vampires?
But isn't it ag damage for supernatural?
That's the problem with true faith, is that things are weird like that.
True
Shouldn't there be
faith.
a roll
after
for
all.
true faith?
I'm gonna
300.
wait, guys.
392.
392.
392.
Glad you were on that. Receiving increasing systems. Let's see.
Losing faith system. Not true faith.
Miracles, artifacts. Doesn't really say anything about damage. I've been saying it does damage.
True faith levels. The faith
Yeah, go
levels.
ahead and roll damage for that then. We're gonna say it affects any supernatural.
Difficulty 6 or 8. Or
You know
10.
what? Faith is not inimical to werewolves. They can have faith. No damage to werewolves on true faith.
Okay.
And
So,
I will
wait,
put
does
that
it
in the
make damage or
house rules. I'll put that in the house
I mean-
rules for werewolves. Make sure.
Vampires can also have faith.
Yeah, but their lives don't revolve around it usually.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And yeah. I'm
So,
gonna put that in
wait.
the house rules for werewolves. He is not dead.
Okay.
However, he is severely hurt, and he's in a frenzy, and he's making his attack. Roll 7d10.
So he did not get damaged by the
And
true
he does
faith.
a swing and a miss. No, he did not. He has one extra action, which is going to be an attack, but it goes after Ilemus's. The rest must make a roll per the rules of Majesty to attempt to attack him. They have to spend a willpower point, which they all do.
Here's a small question. At this point, are we, we were coming towards trying to search them.
Yeah, you
Are
guys
we
have
by
no idea where he's
chance?
at. You have no idea. You're not even
Okay.
outside the city walls.
Okay.
No,
Just
so we have
trying my chance.
All right, they must make a courage roll. What is Ilemus's charisma plus intimidation?
Excuse me. Sorry.
I gotta look it up.
Terrible.
Ilemus's charisma and intimidation.
6.
All right, they're making courage rolls at difficulty 6. All right, first one succeeds. Second one does not and cannot attack you. Third one does. Okay. Two more rush in, one from the front and one from the back. So he kind of has to come around the side because his companion's so big. So he's getting flanking damage, or flanking dice. One dice for flanking. And hit you for one success.
Dodge, please.
Okay, that's one of your extra actions. Go ahead and ignore that damage roll. Make your dodge.
Oh, if only it was so easy to ignore the damage.
Right. Well, unless you had level 2 corpse monster.
Dodge,
He
success.
successfully dodges.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
Even at the multiple opponent penalty. Let's not forget. Third one attacks.
Right.
Which to attempt to dodge this is at a, I think is it +1 for each extra opponent or +2? I'm gonna say +1 just to continue with the combat and get through this. So, just 8 if you attempt to dodge this roll. And he's
For the
attacking
sake
from
of the-
rear. So hit you with 2 successes unless you attempt to dodge.
I do attempt to dodge.
Okay. Dex Athletics. Remember that you are minus 1 dice, 2 dice, minus 3 dice at diff 8. This is celerity action penalty plus multiple opponent.
Yep.
You dodge
Missed it.
successfully.
Nice.
Outstanding.
Very nice.
Good job.
All right. You get a celerity action now, or a celerity attack.
Might actually get through this.
For this one, I'm going to be spending a willpower. Or can I?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Have any of them gone down yet?
No.
Still.
2 successes.
Right.
Is it going to dodge?
It can't dodge. It's in a frenzy. It's in a head-on frenzy rage. Its instinct is to attack. So, roll damage.
Can it soak 7 successes?
It can soak 6. It does not soak 6. It goes down.
Nice. And you still have extra attack, right?
Yep, it's got one more.
As he makes this last one, he's just going to whisper, "A life for a life."
Well, Apollo can have won so much time.
Now remember, you're applying his wound penalties to each roll, right?
It was damage,
Yep.
I believe, so
Yep.
therefore.
Ilemus has
And,
wound penalties.
One success on an attack roll. Is
Okay.
the next one going to dodge, or?
No, it can't dodge. That actions. Has to just take it. It cannot spend rage and gnosis or willpower in the same round. Cannot do it.
At least you killed a werewolf while fighting 4 of them, so that's very remarkable.
Damn!
Whoa, look at that.
1, 2, 3, 4. Takes 4, and it might rage out, because that was pretty freaking bad. It's actually going to regain rage here
Oh, is he?
from getting hit hard. Holy
Well,
shit.
I mean,
Yeah, this thing's in a killer
rage.
frenzy now, too. You did the same thing. You take
Oh,
one
okay.
swipe. Bam! The werewolf goes down, hits the ground. Entrail spills out of it. You quick turnaround, left-handed, another swipe, another super solid hit. And again, the werewolf staggers back and then steps up. And with that many successes, the wound instantly knits shut and leaves only a thin scar. And it screams out in anger. It healed all 5 levels of ag damage. It screams out in rage, and it is, again, all semblance of any kind of intelligence is gone. This thing is out for the kill. Not that it wasn't before, but now it's even worse.
No.
Okay,
Just
new round.
Really now? Okay.
Yeah, they're all out of actions. What's
Spend,
how much
spend
blood
one
do
blood.
have left?
12 blood left.
Right,
Um,
self-control.
hunger time.
Oh boy.
Or courage time, maybe. It should be. I mean, let's think about it. Does Beast want to run from those beasts, or does he want to feed?
No. Remember, it's self-control plus 2 extra.
Also, that werewolf he took down, was that the one that was standing in his path?
He's so large that kind of 2 of them are standing in his path.
No boy.
Plus 2 dice, minus 1 dice.
Well, it's plus 2 for the bonus that you got at the start of tonight, as you recall.
Oh yeah, the frenzy bonus.
And wound penalties do not apply to virtue rolls.
Okay. Difficulty
Nice.
6.
Yep.
What?
2 successes.
Nope, you're good.
Spending 1 blood to have one last burst of celerity actions. Gonna try and make it 2.
Good luck.
All right, this thing is spending 5 points of rage for 5 extra actions. Oh, sorry, yeah. Go for it. You got first attack.
Fuck.
Swing and miss. Ragey werewolf making this attack.
Good game.
No, you've got this.
Hit you for 1 extra damage.
2.
Are you dodging?
Yes.
Make your dodge roll, please. at minus 2 dice for your second action.
What those minus dices? Minus dices.
Alright, you successfully dodge it. Werewolf that is flanking you makes its attack.
Excuse me.
And hits you for 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Second dodge action.
Okay. 3 dice. And this is at difficulty 7. Recall?
Really?
Or it's a 1+1 extra difficulty for multiple opponent. Yeah. Alright, it does hit you, but 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 2 for 2. So, strength.
1 bonus dice.
6, 7, 8, 9, d10.
Well,
2, 3, 4, minus 1. Take 3 ag.
I can
You
spend,
can fortitude, or spend.
and I'm going to spend a point of blood to automatically soak to it, so take 1 ag damage.
And the last one is again rolling courage to attempt to attack you.
Excuse me.
And this time it does get an attack, but no extra actions.
he passed the difficulty.
Yep, he passed his courage roll.
Oh, it's courage
He
roll.
had
Okay.
courage to attack. He had to spend a point of willpower to do it, though. So hit you 1, 2, hit you for 2 successes. And you're out of dodges, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
So roll damage, and then I roll 2 soak
1,
dice.
2, 3, 4. 4 ag.
Spend the beautiful blood.
You can only do it once per combat.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Once per round.
So bye Hermus.
Once per round.
Oh wait, he will roll fortitude still. Can he add true fate to this because of the supernatural thing affecting?
You can. It is difficulty
think-
10. The true fate
he
is
does-
difficulty 10.
Really?
Okay.
Yes.
But he still does not lose anything, right? Like so.
So you take 3
I'll roll.
there.
I'll roll the true faith.
Please roll 10. Please roll 10. Goddess of dice, bless my friend here.
Is he going to try
So close.
against her?
Okay. Is he down?
And that ashes him.
And thus ends Ilemus.
So he's gone. Bye bye, Arlemus. And we shall never know what happened. The rest of us?
Who has
No.
Auspex in the group?
I have.
I do.
If you have Auspex, you may roll your Auspex rating at difficulty 6.
Difficulty
Yeah,
6.
So-
well, I believe.
The
Yes.
just Auspex?
Just pure Auspex rating.
Okay, difficulty 6.
Six.
Okay.
Nope.
I got
I
success.
botched.
You think Aloris should be back You should think Aloris should be back by now.
Yep.
So Icarus
I
has
got
this
success.
vision. Does Nicodemus
Uh-huh.
have this vision?
I don't know. You
Wait,
tell.
Roll it. Roll Auspex.
Oh yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, I did it. You can do that too. I mean, you have 2 aspects.
I can't believe I botched that.
You can't really botch an Auspex
Seriously?
roll like that. Alright, Icarus,
What?
Nicodemus, you have visited. You are kind of on the pier, and you're starting to walk into the city, and you're suddenly visited with an image as you stand to stop dead still. And you see a vision of Apollo reaching out his hand, and you swear you see him taking Ilemus's hand and pulling him up to Mount Olympus.
Nicodemus
stopping,
staggers,
not
nearly
moving.
falling into the water, and I think something bad happened to Ilemus.
So, just out of interest, what does Labiena think she sees?
Nothing. You just don't have it. You just didn't get it. You're just like,
Oh.
what? What the hell just happened? What'd I miss?
Well, this
What are you
happens
talking
rarely.
about?
this happens rarely, but I saw that vision too. And sadly, I presume our friend Ahamus has died in his venture to the woods.
Are you sure?
Well, I'm not sure it's just a vision, but then again, when it happens to be true.
Can only hope you're wrong.
Well, I certainly hope I'm wrong, but it seemed so vivid, and it seemed as if Ailemus was being taken by his patron to Mount Olympus. I know visions can be interpreted, but this pretty much has a single explanation.
What do you
Well,
mean?
what I mean, he's died by something, and probably this includes Alexia too, presumably, if he's dead. Now,
So the vision wouldn't include anything
No.
about what could have killed them,
no, it
just
did not.
that they're gone.
Yeah. Think of it like this: the blessing of the gods. They took his soul peacefully and pulled it to the Mount Olympus. Now, I hope his soul will have good time with Athena.
Hmm. What should we do now?
As I didn't spend much time with your friends, I cannot, feel the agony as much as you feel, but still, my sadness is with you. I agree with you.
Nicodemus seems to be taken aback by the vision. He seems to be supporting himself by the pier, and he really feels this loss, even though his contact with the Toreador has been limited. But some of his pragmatism takes over, and he states that would mean they have found some resistance, some antagonism connected to the caravan. Perhaps the lead was true. Unless it was something else.
And if your vision, it would be wise of us not to investigate it ourselves, in case we fall the same fate.
What about
Well,
Alexa? Did you have any vision regards to her?
No, but as I said, if one of them is dead, presumably the other one is also dead.
That's not
Because-
true.
Well, my friend, as I said, I'm a wanderer, and I've been in woods at night plenty of times. You will be surprised what kind of things crawl inside there. And indeed, went there together. So when I say that if one of them is dead, believe me, the other one is also dead or captured, which we probably will not find.
But perhaps you can enlighten us on what creatures prowl the woods at night outside the village.
Well, do you know things called lupines?
Indeed,
Yeah, that's the first example.
that is certainly.
And then there are other
Not-
things that I don't know the names of it. They are just like abominations. No name to speak.
Lupines are bad enough by themselves.
But if
Could it
But
be
if you
that we've been so reckless to allow them to pursue this caravan that we haven't even made sure carries answers right to the jaws of those wolves? It's terrifying to think.
These wolves, could they be related to this that is happening? I happen in the city.
Yes,
It may
it
not.
could, and for that sake alone, we should investigate it. But we shouldn't probably be as reckless, and we should hire guides. Maybe we should find the kindred that may still be here, whoever that could give us some more information about what lies in this direction.
Perhaps we could have
Well-
our ghouls investigate during the daytime, when it would be perhaps safer from the lupines.
There,
lupines
there
are
are a lot
not
of-
like us.
there are a lot of leagues to cross. That could take that could take days for them.
It was just a
Also,
thought.
our ghoul entourage is currently what, 2 men strong?
Okay, if you people want to, I'm totally fine with going inside the woods together and trying to find the remainings or the truth about what happened to them, what fate did to them. But there's no running away from the visions.
I think we can deduce what may
As-
have happened to
As you
them.
guys argue, you realize it's getting pretty late. You've had the vision and you're discussing it quite a bit, and you realize you've only got another couple of hours until sunrise now. After this long discussion, it probably would not be wise to go out now.
No.
Oh yes, it
We
requires
should go.
planning.
Well,
Let us find rest. Perhaps the goals may try and find a guide that could and some information about what lies where the caravan went. Also, we should probably remain extra careful until we're certain the trireme has left the harbor. In case our good friend Democritus decides he really does want these scrolls really bad.
Well, I happen to agree. We should try and at least see what we can find out in regards to the caravan's destination and perhaps even its contents from anyone in the village before resorting to perhaps traversing outside the village to find out more. That would be prudent.
Without doubt.
well, let's sleep then.
You guys get back to the inn, no problem. Those of you who touched the scroll at that prophecy at the very beginning of this whole adventure should roll your wits plus occult.
I think I did, but I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Can you roll it if
Yeah,
you're
you
in
did.
torpor for this one?
It's
You
plus.
can't react to it, so
No. You won't be able to tell us anything, sadly. What was the difficulty again?
6. You can roll it at 1 higher if you desire, Nicodemus. And I believe Albina touched it as well, so Albina can roll it.
So what's the role? Intelligence in the call?
Stubbornly no.
Wits occult.
Yeah.
To success.
All right, Labiana definitely realizes what has happened, and so does Albina with extreme clarity. Labiana and Albina wake up, and you have a very distinct. Both of you compare notes when you wake up, and you realize you both dreamed of the flag of Rome flapping in the breeze, and the vague feeling that you're forgetting to do something.
I was about to say,
Flag
do
of-
we actually have a letter to deliver to the prince of this city?
No, you
Could
don't.
there be? Is there some form of memory roll to remember?
Yes, you can roll. Let's just. You can do another roll of wits occult. We'll do that.
Both of us?
Yeah, sure. Both of you guys.
Hmm.
You're
Oh,
doing your
fuck.
best to meditate and try to recall deep in your memories. You try to recall this vision and recall every sight and sensation involved. All right. So Labian, as you remember this vision, you definitely recall the sensation of being back on the ship and floating your way over there, and that the feeling that Rome needs you.
Alright, well, obviously Labian at this point is just going to gather everyone together and say, I kind of get the distinct feeling that we should be on our way back to Rome by now. I had a vision which strongly indicates that
Oh, so it seems all of
we
us
are needed
are.
back.
Oh, splendid. I feel like a puppet doll on the hamstrings of fate.
Well, it's a bad way to look at fate, my friend. You can say fate is more like a interesting road that spins around things. Sometimes the turn is very sharp, and sometimes it's gentle.
You know, as much as I'd like to ponder fate and from philosophical point of view, it nearly sounds like that it wants to just for me to abandon what I'm doing and go the way it decrees. And yeah, it doesn't matter that I want to see if my friends are still alive, if they still are among us.
I'm you see, I have nothing to lose. My presence here is connected with you, not your mission or your connection with Rome. So just do whatever you feel is best, and I will do my best to help and aid you guys.
Well,
Yeah, you're
I do
right.
agree
You're
that
right.
we do actually we have those scrolls. I do believe we do need to get them back to Rome as soon as possible. It could be
Yeah.
important.
And we have money
What
too,
is-
so
What is your take on it, Albina? Should we really abandon any further investigation, looking
No,
for Ilemus, looking for
No.
Alexio?
we shouldn't abandon investigations. I, she struggles a bit. I'm sure that Alexis is okay. Alexis is strong, smart.
or he might die. Either case, Irhemus is probably died your friend, and Alexia is not here, not joined us. So well, truth is truth, and you cannot deny it. What happens in woods, happens in woods, and it generally does not go outside alive. So maybe you should move on, my friend.
Maybe we should have left back in
So-
the cave.
As much as it pains me to admit it, we may be treating on our own personal needs right now. And we still have a duty to perform, duty to Rome, duty to Artemis.
And also,
perhaps,
I believe we haven't properly given Valerius the burial rites? Forget the term.
Yeah, it's like a sacrifice, a small sacrifice to guide his soul.
what does change? We can do it in Rome.
Yes.
He'd probably prefer it in Rome, as it is his homeland.
That is wise.
Well, what is your
So,
decision
as
then?
much as we would like to know what happened to both Arlemus and Alexio, we have two choices. We can either stay behind for a little bit longer and see if they return. Otherwise, we can head straight to Rome, which is what my instincts are telling me to do. But it is not just up to me. It is up to all of us.
Could it be that there's a person in this city that is, I wouldn't call it a law enforcement, but perhaps they are an investigator of sorts? Perhaps we could hire a person such as this, pay him a lot of money that we have on ourselves, and make them look for friends before we depart for Rome. And eventually, perhaps a letter would reach us with information about whether there's hope or not.
Yes, that option is the best one.
We could perhaps sort that out before we leave. Then they can send word.
Would Nicodemus know
Fine.
if there are
Anything.
those kind of people that can be hired?
They exist. You don't know any in the city, but off the top of my head, I can think of at least one person who would do basically anything to make sure Ilemus is okay. That will stay in the city forever.
I'm seeing Albina taking a hit again.
Nope, it has nothing to do. Albina and
Berta.
Labiana and
Icarus?
Hatshepsut all met this person.
Oh,
The child.
we did? Oh, the
the child from the
priest.
temple. From the temple.
Yeah.
Nicodemus
You
hasn't
can
met him, so
Yeah, that's a good
So-
a good option, but he's not here right now, right? We have to get a letter to him.
no, we
Do we
can.
know where to find him?
Well, can't we find him in the temple or
Probably,
something?
yeah. If I was that kid, that's exactly where I'd be sleeping.
All right, that's a good bet. We can leave him some money if he needs to like hire help or something.
They will probably steal it from him.
I'm sure he'd be happy to help us out, given
He knows the city.
what we
Probably.
did for him. So you could say he owes us a favor?
Nah, don't look at him as a kindred. He's just a child who has had a glimpse of hope in his eyes when he met Alemus.
So-
I'm just saying that's maybe what he's thinking. Like, that's maybe how he sees us. I don't know. He's indebted to us
Very
for
well.
saving us.
Okay, that's one thing. The other is the A ship. We should probably remember that we have a lot of resources on hands, and if there is no A ship heading for Rome, we can make a ship go to Rome.
How?
So we can always visit the docks.
Ah, my friend, you haven't been around the ugly mortal side too much. It's called gold.
Mm, it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't.
Most of the time it works. Unless you run into pompous kindred that have their own agenda. But I'm not expecting this to be the case twice in the upcoming week.
Well, to be honest, I don't have good memories with this city, so I would prefer to get out from here as soon as possible.
Let's sever them then.
Understandable.
Let's break with the tradition of splitting our party and let's head to the harbor master first and learn what kind of ships are leaving for Rome.
And what?
And if there aren't, then perhaps he can tell us which ships are on and about.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yes, you guys
So
can
what
do
kind
that.
of ships are in the harbor?
You go to the harbor first. All right, the trireme is gone.
That's good.
That's cool.
All right, you remember where the passport / harbor master office was, of course.
Mm-hmm.
The same guy is still sleeping behind the desk. He's got his feet up, little light snore going.
Tap, tap, tap.
He does a little snap jerk. What? I'm awake.
I had to.
You speak Greek this time, maybe?
Huh? Greek?
Greek.
He kind of like shakes his, and he like starts looking through the papers, and he goes, "You leave?
Ship to Rome. Is there one?
Roma? Roma. Ship. No ship from Rome. No ship here.
To Rome.
No ship to Rome?
All local here." And he says something in the native language.
Is there ship available to hire?
Gold buys much. Gold. People need money. Money good.
Gold.
And then he holds out his
Take
hand,
us,
waiting for a tip.
Rome.
Sure, let's tip him.
You give him a
He
coin.
talks.
He kind of bites into it, make sure it's real, and he stays seated.
Splendid. So,
So,
who do we talk to if we want to hire a ship to Rome?
It looks like he's trying to process the question.
Who we buy to Rome?
Captain.
Yes, Captain.
ship
Icarus,
to
when
Rome.
you say captain, he
buy.
looks at you and he throws you an incredibly sloppy salute. Like, yes, you captain. Okay, I get it. And he's like, and then he says some, random name. Logus. Logus take you. Logus.
Where
Where
Logus?
do we find Logus?
He like does this shooing motion for like you guys to leave, and he gets up like he's gonna get out from up behind a desk.
Okay, let's see where he leads
You guys
us.
all you get out, you leave. He shuts the door, throws the very crude bolt lock, walks you down the harbor, and points at one of the ships that's tied up. It's a merchant vessel, and then he says, "Logus," and then he holds out his hand for another tip.
Here you have it. And be gone. I'm very through with this town. I've spent half my life learning how to please a man with a kind word, and I get all those barbaric people who don't know Greek. Shoo, get away.
He tucks the money and scurries away. Not even proud about it, just like scurries off. Like, yes, I have 2 silver.
Okay.
Okay.
So I suppose one of us
So-
should go aboard and talk to Logus, was his name, I think?
Yes. Yeah, Logus. So is there a ramp? And is there anyone? Adjacent to the ship?
Yeah, there's a ramp. It's just a board. Not very stable or sturdy, but you can walk up it. It's a standard merchant vessel, 1 mast, 1 sail, and there's got the little cabin on the top, and the door is open, and you can see somebody is inside it, and is like he's in a hammock, and the hammock is rocking very gently with the waves.
Okay. I assume there are no sentries watch.
No.
Well, let's stroll inside, and if there's anything to knock with, Nicodemus will knock.
Yeah, you can just knock on the door frame. And he's like, like puts his hand to his head, like, what do you want? He's speaking in native language. He says something to you in the native language.
Nicodemus takes a coin out of his pocket and like pings with it with his finger to get the man's attention.
He's trying to wake up. He kind of like rocks out of the hammock, like and then he stumbles out, and he gets up, stands up. It almost looks like he's still a little drunk.
Oh boy.
Do you speak Greek?
What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Sorry.
And he's like, yeah, some. Like, he's got his hand up, like he's holding his head, like, oh, my head. Like, yeah, some Greek.
Is it enough Greek to accommodate us when you take us to Rome?
Rome? Sure. And he holds out his hand.
What is on his hand?
His hand is empty, and it's held out palm up to you guys.
I put some coin on him.
He
Only
looks at it more.
how much more?
He's going to end up extorting you for about resources 3.
What the
So
fuck?
say you ask how much.
He names like 60 or 70 silver. It's about resources 3. About what
And we have 100.
about what they gave you for spending money, basically.
I'm like, just give the money. Just give the money. We don't have much use for it.
I'm going to try to dominate this and say cut it by half.
We're going back to Rome anyways.
Go ahead and make
I
a
don't
roll.
He's not going to
And
understand.
his eyes are like half shut. Remember, his hand is over his eyes, like, oh god, my head hurts so bad. Oh, and he's like barely looking at what's in his hand. So I'm gonna increase the difficulty because he's barely paying attention to you, to be honest. Let's make it difficulty 5. That's with all your merits and everything.
Wow.
It's not that he
Yeah.
has
Language.
no willpower. It's just,
Because he's not fully concentrating.
yeah, he's just like, yeah, sure, that sounds reasonable. I'll take half. That's fine.
I put in the coin fund on his
Just
hand.
let me go back to sleep. I'll see you in the morning. In the morning, we'll leave.
Could you tell us
Morning?
your ship? Could you
Agreed.
tell us where it is so that we
Can we
may?
board before dawn?
Like, you're on
I'm
it.
sorry.
You're on it. This is my ship. This is my home. And it comes out more like my ship. My house, my home. I'll talk to you in the morning. I need sleep.
Oh, well, we cannot speak at morning. Sadly.
You'll be meeting our representative.
Back. Oh, what I missed.
He's like, you're paying in advance. It's fine. Just make sure everything's on board. I'm going back to my hammock. Try to be
We will.
quiet.
Thank you.
I'm-
Leave him
I
be,
just-
and we'll board before
I
dawn.
I just hope he doesn't wreck things while on the watch. Oh.
He'll
Very
probably
well,
be sleeping most of the time.
Let's deal with the next important thing. Let's go to the temple.
Agreed.
Did blessing of Apollo left the temple when I almost died?
No, it did not.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, it's not true faith ground. It's just restored to condition. It's quite impressive. It's very impressive.
Let's see.
Why don't you find a boy and I'll gaze upon this miracle just for a
Me?
moment.
You guys walk up to the temple, all of you as a group. And where before there was a broken pedestal with just a few chips of marble and stuff to show where the feet of Apollo were, there is now a full statue, marble statue of Apollo in his glorious form, holding a musical instrument in one arm and a book of poetry in the other arm, gazing out upon the city. And you walk into the temple. The walls are immaculate. The paintings are perfect, bright colors. There's another small statue of Apollo in the back, and at his feet is curled up a little boy sleeping.
I approach the little boy.
So as the group approaches, Nicodemus stares at this all marvelous things that just happened. He suddenly just aches his head upwards, and he just mutters as if to himself, "Oh, Ilemus, such a wonderful, pure creature, and you have fallen to some stupidity." And he begins to tear the hair out of his head in a sudden grip of sorrow and sadness.
Roll your auspex, Nicodemus.
Oh, gee, 2D.
Ooh.
As you tear up in remembrance of him, you swear you hear the music that he played the one night that he entertained you guys so many years ago. You swear you hear that again in your head, and then it fades out to a gentle silence. If there is an afterlife, he is not suffering.
That gives some comfort to Nicodemus's face, but he remains transfixed on the sensations.
Are you alright, Nicodemus?
It's it's nothing. It's just sad to see a friend perish.
And it is indeed true.
But we need to focus. I'm sorry for derailing you.
Is this the kid, Albina?
Yes. She kneels by his side and touches him.
It's
He
indeed
jerks
him.
awake at the cold, bitterly cold touch of your flesh. And he stumbles over and he looks and he's like, oh. And his Greek is probably the best Greek you've heard in the city, even though it's still rough and uneducated. It's you.
Yes.
Hello again.
I sorry to disturb your sleep, child, but there is something that we must request of you. Do you remember the beautiful man that restored this temple to its blood?
Yes, Ilemus, he promised to teach me later.
We do not know what happened to him, and yet we cannot stay. Please, if you could, attempt to search for him after we depart.
Of course, anything for Ilemus. I'll do anything.
Thank you, child. If you find him, please do have him send a message to Ron, telling that he is well.
Of course I will.
Last-
Of course.
Last we knew, headed east out of the
He had a woman with him, a blonde older woman.
Alexia.
I'll watch. I'll make sure he hears.
Yes.
Thank you.
Should you come to a conclusion of any sort, could you perhaps send us a letter towards Rome? To the Temple of Juno. No doubt that would be the best address. I believe we can leave you some coin if you desire, some research towards that goal.
As much as you need.
Okay.
Just name
Very grateful.
why.
I don't know how much I'll need. Well, whatever you think I need, I'll take. I'll make sure. Who should I send it to at the temple?
She's going to give the name of the new temple that she's with, the cave of.
Okay.
She's going to say, send for the priestess Albina.
I will. I'll send for.
And she's going to give him all the money that she has on her person right now.
Okay, that's plenty. He takes it. He puts it away in the in a hidden compartment. So he is
Just
eager to please. He's eager to help.
Just curious.
Thank
I'm sorry. I don't believe I know your name. My name is Nicodemus, and yours is.
I really need to print this out so I have it ready to.
Since
I'm
from players.
Alessandro.
So, Alice,
Sandro, yes. Did you notice what is going on outside, and how things have changed?
No, Ilemus prayed to Apollo, and Apollo came down. He restored it all. Apollo is all great and good. His light brings life to the earth, to Gaia. For
Yeah.
I would do anything for them.
Indeed, and along with it, the city that surrounds the temple has risen as if from ashes, and suddenly there's There's cheer where previously there was only gloom. How do you see yourself in it?
I don't know what you mean. 2 days
You're
ago, I was hiding from the crowd that wanted to kill me, or sell me into slavery, or beat me with whips or something. But today,
and and
Apollo
yet
showers us with favor again.
and now currently you're the only priest that attends this most holy of temples. What are you going to do with it?
Whatever I can. I think the city elder is going to send for more. He's going to see if a neighboring village or somebody will come and help and teach me. But Ilema said he was going to teach me, so if he's gone, I don't know what was going to do.
What do you feel you should do?
I feel I should stay.
This is a brave decision, and should you continue on it, perhaps there is future in that you appease Apollo in being the messenger of his will within this temple. Can you take up this burden?
If Apollo deems me worthy, yes.
Then I hope your will continue to serve you, and you can be a beacon for this temple in the future. Good tidings, Alessandro. I shall keep your name in my memory.
One of these days, one of these days, I will return to see how well you have performed under your duties. I trust you are not going to leave the gods wanting.
I don't see how that's possible.
Excuse me.
She smiles and gives him a kiss on the forehead.
Okay, you guys want to do anything else before you get back on the ship?
Nope.
No, we're
I
probably
believe we
going
need
back
to go back
the
to
inn.
the
Sorry.
collect our belongings and our ghouls, whatever's left.
We're instructing the ghouls to keep hold of us, put us into the cargo hold or whatever that is assigned to us, and so that we may journey safely. And pay special heed if the captain doesn't drink too much.
Okay. All right. The captain gets you guys back safely. Once at sea, he is a consummate professional. He does not allow him or his crew to drink to excess, and he makes damn sure that his ship sails well.
Great.
All right. You guys sail up to the port. You get back to Rome. It takes approximately 9 days to do so.
Do we hunt on the way?
Do you need to hunt on the way?
I mean, we will take out 9 bloods.
True. But does it stop it in long during 9 days?
They will stop halfway there if you want to hunt on the way.
Presumably, we would like to do so.
Let's not approach stomach.
Okay.
So halfway would be
5?
5. Gonna spend 5 more to heal that aggravated wound.
It's 3 blood to heal the ag. That's how they do the healing. It's 3 and a night's of rest.
Oh, I thought it was 5 because I just read it.
Yeah.
Okay, 3.
So should I make my hunting roll? No.
And a hunting roll.
All right. You go ahead. Everyone gonna go ahead and make your hunting roll. The difficulty is 7.
Oh, sneaky.
Now a question: do I get bonus dice? No, no bonus dice. But do my specialty apply for this hunting roll?
No.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
That's my sheet.
Not a bot.
Wow.
Not a bot.
Jesus, look at this. From all those dices, we just failed. Can I make another roll? Assuming we just stop for doing this, we shouldn't waste whole
It's
night.
at 1 extra difficulty. Goes it up by 1.
You know what? I will spend blood.
Is it the standard?
If you don't make this roll, you're not successfully hunting tonight.
I won't watch. Okay, I got 3 for success. One willpower goes. So 8. I can get 8 blood without risking anybody's life.
Specialty doesn't count, so you got 3, so you can get 6. No problem.
I spent it with 1 willpower to
you
not
did? Okay.
be.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, 4. Albina, you got it. Nicodemus, you got 2 additional, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
How much points we get?
You can take 4 if you don't want to hurt somebody. That's 2 from 2 people.
I'm
I'm
going.
going- I'm going to take 6.
Can I hunt once more?
Yes, and it's a 1 difficulty higher because it's getting late. Lobby, it's basically for each success you can take 2 blood points from 1 person. Because I'm just for the speed of hunting roll, each success is 1 person that you successfully hunted. So you can take 6 without hurting anybody.
Okay, so I'll do that, which brings me back up again.
All right, Albina, both people that you fed on seem okay. No problems.
Even if I take the 6?
You take 3 from each, so
Yeah.
Yep, they seem good.
Okay.
I just made stamina rolls for them. Nicodemus, yep. Yeah, you can take 4 more if you want. No problem.
Not in a mood for experimentation.
Damn.
Okay. We get back to the port. You take this small transportation ship back upriver. We end in Rome. I think that's a good stopping point for tonight.
Okay. If you prefer to, we can make the welcome scene and then stop. Like, welcome.
Like, hand over the letters.
Yeah, that simple stuff and then stop.
If you guys want to go to... Who do you want to go to see first?
I assume I assume Rome looks good, intact,
No
not
problem.
red.
Luckily, the prince.
Hannibal's at the gates.
Rome is actually packed. It is packed. There are refugees camped outside of Rome for a mile.
Blood, blood, blood. More food.
The prince likely will be a good first stop. Either the prince or Artemis herself.
So we are the official messengers of the Eternal Senate. So it would be prudent to set your foot in front of the prince first. However, we all know who pulls the strings and who our true master is. So perhaps it is wise to send a preemptive messenger to her villa informing her of our arrival and that we intend to show ourselves to the prince and should there be any other decree from her, we'll be bound to react.
Okay, you guys do that. Heraclitus volunteers to take it, and he's taking his torpid mistress with him. So he runs off to Artemis with her. Technically, he'll get a cart to help, but he gets it done. Meantime, you guys are making your way towards the Elysium.
Rome seems new for me, presumably something I never saw.
Yeah, this
Huge.
is something. You go into Rome, and the sights and sounds of Rome are something Icarus has never seen. Never seen anything so big. Even this late at night, long past the time, even Appolonia would be in bed. Rome is still up. Torches still burn, oil lamps, providing just enough light to see another crowded, dirty, stinky, smelly, nasty, hot alleys. Buildings built so high you can't really see the sky through them except through a little narrow line. Just people everywhere. People on people on people, far more than you've ever seen in one place ever. Just so crowded.
Oh, splendid. I wonder if there aren't any diseases.
The
Because
noise of just people sleeping, moving. There are people out restocking the forum shops, carts moving through the area, drawn by donkeys and mules, and even the occasional horse, but usually donkeys or oxen. Just the sights and smells just almost overwhelms you. This is not a good place to be using heightened senses.
Do people react to my weapons and the armor? Because Icarus probably did not, unequip them.
People shy away from you because that is not usual.
Alternatively, it is a great place to use heightened senses if you're prepared to do nothing for the next hour.
Mm-hmm.
AK, you're an Auxpex junkie.
I mean, you can use heightened senses to, increase your only the, feeling, skin sense and the tasting, so it won't be much problem with those. Or smelling, maybe.
Well, if you do it to enhance smell, you will not be able to smell for a while. You might end up puking up a few blood points while you're at it.
And the sense of touch, I would have to say that it goes the same, because crowded people means more people bouncing into you and bumping, and you suddenly get frustrated and annoyed. But it's your fault.
That depends. It seems a little bit hard forcing too much to make it happen, but...
Anyway, so we're making our way, getting through the crowds of people. Suddenly, the pathways that seem to be so comfortable to use are not so comfortable to use.
Yep. Even as the food vendors are still, I mean, even those of them that are sold out are still trying to talk to people and get them lined up, so as soon as they're open the next morning, they can just start handing food out. People are camping at the doorstep of these places. Cities just packed with refugees. You hear languages, dialects of Italian that you've never heard. You can hear babies crying. Their mothers, you can hear them trying to comfort them as you walk through the streets, and you can hear mothers, patting the babies, and you can hear dogs barking. Surprisingly few, though, for reasons you might disgustingly suspect.
They are being eaten.
Yeah, they're being eaten. Same with rats.
Sorry, who is being eaten?
Dogs, animals.
Okay.
So,
For a moment, I thought babies getting eaten. But...
No, babies just get abandoned on the small heaps. And that's
We're not in Carthage. Chill out.
So, they
Understand the animals.
as you guys kind of shove your way through the streets, a lot of people especially the natives, shy away from Icarus because of the prohibition against weapons and armor. They're giving him the stink eye. To really.
Hello,
Oh.
Vienna.
How is that he hasn't been stopped just yet?
Well, they don't have a police force as such.
Okay.
So the lictors don't react?
Well, yeah,
If at
but
le-
there's a lot of people and only so many lictors.
Yeah,
I'll give you a...
we've should have been down on this one first, Icarus. Can you perhaps conceal your weapons a little bit? That would probably do.
Wow. What?
Wait,
All right, you have...
I'm like, yeah. When he says, "Can you consider?" Your eyes?" I'm like, raising my two arms, like looking at my shield and spear and the short sword. I'm like, yeah, that's something not going to happen tonight.
Tis-
You guys do make your way through the crowd, and you do eventually reach the Elysian Fields bathhouse. You all remember how to get in, don't you?
Yeah, the secret
Yep.
passage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Secret
No,
passage.
I don't know it. I don't know it. It will be meta.
Just follow our lead. Try to not be as who am I talking to? Just follow us.
You guys actually have to split the party here, because the females have to go in the female entrance. And the men get to go in the men's
Right.
entrance.
We'll meet you there.
Unless you want to go to the elaborate effort of cross-dressing.
Well,
Can
in
it
any
is
case,
me?
you guys...
Icarus, I hope you've been inducted in how the formalities work. Eventually,
No.
you'll have to introduce yourself formally to the prince because you're
No.
a newcomer here.
I don't know such things. I don't worry or care such things.
Well, we'll plot you in with our explanations.
How old
Just follow our
are you?
lead.
How old am I? Probably 50 years old. I don't know. We never talked about it. How old am I, Chris?
Probably 60.
Okay. 60.
Just be mindful that the prince may have some questions to you because you may be.
No, I have nothing
Fire.
to hide.
I know that, friend. But they may have a different perception. But don't worry, it'll be fine.
I'm not worrying.
Okay,
Well,
you guys
we
go
continue
in.
on.
You remember for the ladies, you go in the female entrance. Then you have to go through the hidden door, which ends up in the male atrium. And then you go through the second hidden door, which leads to the chamber of the prince.
Okay.
Alright, so
I will definitely like to use my Wolverine 1 to ask only one question, just one. We can continue, by the way. I will do it silently.
remember the atrium is it's got a pavilion, a covered pavilion inside of it, and the edges are open space. You can see the sky. Excuse me. Let me do a quick weather check here. Higher is better. Yep, it is perfect, beautiful weather outside. Absolutely gorgeous tonight. You go to the hidden entrance, and it's set up as a stone, and there's a series of blocks you have to touch in a certain order. And when you do, you hear a successful click, and the door, you can swing it open very easily on hidden hinges. And you go inside. Inside the chamber, there are several torches and lamps set up. It's pretty bright.
Well, this is a refined place.
There are some tapestries and stuff on the wall, paintings, but it's actually pretty nice in here. But everything is restrained. There is a table right here in the middle, and there are, let's see, the Elysium itself is pretty empty. Camilla, you all remember what Camilla looks like. Stares at the pages of the prophecies in front of him. He's got the box, and he's got these flaps of skin in front of him, and he's looking at them, but he's not looking at them like he's not staring at them. He's looking at one, and he's got gloves on. And he'll look at one, and he'll grab it, and he'll move it off to the side. Then he'll grab the next one, move it off to the side. And the door clicks open, and you walk in, and he looks up, and he sees you, and he waves his hand at you to come in and approach.
I
Clemus
approach.
approaches, bowing respectfully.
Labiana approaches also.
Give you respect. Respect. Scott.
He pushes his stool back and stands up and gathers the pages up, puts them back in a box. And he comes up and he says, "Greetings, clients of Artemis. Nicodemus, Albina Palace, Labiana. It's good to see you. Who is this one?" And he looks at Icarus. "Who dares bring weapons into my presence?"
My apologies, my prince. I apologize for this transgression. However, our newfound friend, who has greatly attributed to our cause, has accompanied us straight from Appolonia, and we are but a fraction of an hour away from the ship we came through. We came strictly to you, and we spared no stops to bring you the news of our mission.
He looks at you, Icarus.
Unfortunately,
Place your weapons in a corner. Your weapons in your shield.
Yeah, I do
This
that.
is my Elysium. There are no weapons allowed here, and no violence.
I do that, no problem.
I appreciate your alacrity in reporting, all of you. Give me a full report, please.
We have concluded our destination towards Appolonia, and we have quickly surmised that there is an influence of two kindred who have seized the city towards their terror. Apparently, there were no kindred that we know of, that we may have been allied to, present, and the two kindred of unknown origins were the supreme in supreme command of the city, sending the kind to their terror and desecrating the temple of Apollo. We have eventually tracked them, and we were forced to ensure their final death, for they would have no parley and no words exchanged. We have recovered some of their correspondence that may influence their further dealings.
Do you have the correspondence with you?
Yes.
we do.
I believe some of it is encrypted. We have been unable to break the code. However, it should be to your notice, my prince, that a Ventru named Democritus has been spotted on the night of our, and he says this with belittling tone, success. He has been noticed in Apollonia's waters on his trireme, supposedly under the flag of truce and diplomacy. However, he has asked some questions that would implicate him in this whole ordeal. The two kindred were keen on performing some sort of rituals, and Democritus has demonstrated his out of ordinary interest to our progress. We have
And if I
disclosed
may
him.
also
Go ahead.
carry on.
We have disclosed him as little as was permitted, as would be reasonable. Nothing that he would not surmise himself, but his implication to it seemed very obvious to me.
Democritus. That is a name with which I am familiar. You don't know this, but they sent us a demand for your lives many years ago. We elected not to say anything because it was quite laughable.
Would this explain why they were so bearing the flag of
I believe he had based himself out of Illyria, and the intervention of our consuls caused him great discomfort. He is undoubtedly hoping to take advantage of the chaos here.
They were not very forthcoming about,
He seemed to be very well aware
certain things.
He seemed to be very well aware of what is hidden with the two kindred that are responsible for the chaos.
I see. So,
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, I hate to say this, but you have little time to stay here unless you decide no longer to participate. This choice is always yours, but we still need you. It looks for a second. He begins to question you. Before I get there, let me get a few more details. He begins to question you, and in the interest of time, he activates Aura of Inescapable Truth, and he proves to be quite adept at getting little tiny details out of you guys. Time frames, actual disciplines that they used, little quirks of speech, anything like that. He's getting this stuff out of you, getting descriptions, names, all this kind of stuff that he's trying to. You can tell he's processing it. He says, in the city of Locry, there is another issue that we need to take care of as fast as possible. Artemis herself is out of the city on another job for us, along with several other of the Eternal Senate members. However, she has graciously allowed me to give this to you in lieu of her as clients. He goes back to the box and he pulls out another piece of the prophecy. It's another flap of steel. Would any of you like to touch it?
Yes.
I step forward.
Nicodemus scrutinizes the the skin flap. And there's something in his head that doesn't like this, being twisted and torn by the ravages of fate, knowing that should he touch it, his perception would forever be scarred. But he's committed right now, so he steps forward as well.
So the three of you guys go to touch it, and you all have the same vision. It's the feel of a horse underneath you. The bouncing of wagon wheels going down the cobbled roads. You see a few landmarks. You swear you recognize Capua as you go past it. Down the Via Appia, all the way down. In the blink of an eye, you swear you've traveled all the way down south to the southern part of the peninsula. And you stop at what you recognize as Locry. It's a tower. And flags in the dark. You can hear the fluttering of flags and snapping in the wind. And your vision swoops in from ground level and it flies to the air like a bird and then swoops to a tower of stone. In the tower, you see a table and chairs arranged for a meeting, and you gain an instinctual understanding that there is a diplomatic effort here at risk, and that they need people with at least, if not a golden tongue, at least a silver tongue to speak here.
And we are those.
The vision ends, and as you step back, the prince says to you, "You see, we are thin at the moment. Hannibal Barca has begun recruiting werewolf allies, and many of the refugees, many of the Canite refugees that came here are assisting our combat forces to keep the werewolves from simply overrunning our ranks. Fortunately, their numbers are few, so what we have has been sufficient. That leaves me to send you to Locry. And honestly, I would prefer to send a true negotiator, but I have none left. I must rely on your verbal skills."
Who are we going to negotiate with?
I'm not sure. But I expect it's going to be a Carthaginian or Brugia. They are one and the same. I am going to provide you with a letter of diplomacy, and as you have described to me the ship, I know you are familiar with the concept. There will also be a mortal sufficiently skilled enough at acting to pass any daytime tests that are needed. I expect this letter to come back to me unharmed. It cost me a great deal to get it. It is genuine. And the Carthaginians will respect it.
I do not understand why you need to negotiate with their kind.
I'm not sure either. However, Locry, historically, is a city not easy to take by siege. I believe that they are sending negotiators attempting to gain free access to such a very important port city. If they get it, Hannibal will be able to resupply his lines directly from the Mediterranean instead of going across the Alps, as he has been.
And it would be a good idea to stop this. If we can.
If you can.
So we must out-negotiate the Carthaginians.
I don't know. I know from the vision the same that you do. My thought is that the Carthaginians are sending an embassy, and so are we, and the better negotiator wins.
And killing the Carthaginians is not an option, for it violates the neutrality of the diplomatic.
If they violate ours, we will violate theirs.
I thought these werewolf allies of the Hannibal. Do you know what he has promised them?
No. what happened was that in one of the mini battles, I sent out a group of the refugee kindred, and only one of them came back and reported to me that
Oh man, you're
Yeah.
to me that the
You're breaking up very badly.
how about this?
coming gets through clear.
How about that?
Hmm? Sounds better.
I changed servers. All right. So all I can tell you is that the refugee kindred I sent out to aid our battle lines, only one of them returned to me with a truthful report that a troop of werewolves had changed in the middle of the battlefield and caused chaos among the mortal ranks as they could not withstand the fear. Our ranks shattered and they tore through the lines. Our Cainite allies were able to stand their ground, but they suffered devastating losses.
Perhaps there is wisdom in this approaching the werewolves.
I know not what he has offered them, but whatever it is, the
No,
only
yes,
offer
but
I have for werewolves is death.
very well.
If they have allied with our enemy, I will not ally with them. Do not attempt to turn them. Mortals are a different story. If we ever had the chance to convert mortals to our side, I would jump at it. Okay.
How
we
much
are
time we
now
have?
going to end the session here. We can ask more questions when we come back next game.
Well, one question before we leave.
Hat is restored.
Okay.
Yay!
That is what her ghoul was taken care of when he ran her to Artemis's place, and the Salubri did their thing. She is restored.
E.
So, did I get it clear? As my question states, the werewolves are like working together with vampires, specifically Bali.
How do you know they're Bali?
At least I know there's
No,
vampires.
that's out of clan. You